controlada y grabada.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call.
Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Link.
Hello.
Hello? Yeah.
Hello, Joe.
Yeah. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. Just got a little yard real quick. Came back in to do this session, and I feel great. I worked out. I feel good.
Man, that's what's up. Yeah, man. I've been up since 8 o'clock myself. Running around, running wires around the house and drilling holes and drilling that, and it's definitely been a busy morning.
Yeah, well, that's a good life, man. That's what we dream about in here, We dream about doing all those little things.
Man, yeah, man. I can't wait. Like till until one of you or all of you come home. So hopefully, that's
Yeah.
in the future, the near future, or as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I could tell you from a lifer's perspective, with all the laws that changed and the mindsets, a lot of us feel that same way,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, cause I remember, having these conversations with my friends, years ago when having a life sentence was life. You had no chance of, or you had at least 1% of coming home, but you probably had a better chance of winning the lottery than actually, paroling on a life sentence.
Yeah, and what the audience should know, what James is talking about here is like when I got arrested in 1997. He used the word 1% chance, and I would use the word 0% chance. Being in the position I was in, and all the lifers around me, no lifers were getting paroled right there, right? And you might have some cases where some guys did actually go home, but we were so far from that we couldn't even see it. I'm not saying we couldn't see it. It was happening in the yard. We couldn't see it for us. I'm saying we couldn't see it at all. The kind of yards, especially growing up in prison, nobody was paroling at that time. So it's just all lifers, and one guy got like 10 years or 20 years that made it with us, and they don't parole every year like that. So after 2014, that opened the door, and it gave a lot of hope to a lot of people in here.
Let me ask you something, because obviously, you've been down for 27 years, so you've seen people come and go, year after year. How many of those people would you say that were doing life but on the installment plan? You would come in, do 5 years, 10 years, get out, stay out for whatever time they were able to stay out, and then come right back in, do another stretch, and then just pretty much rinse and repeat, in and out.
Okay, from my experience, my personal experience, James, Tehachapi was my first, the first La Pinta I was in, right?
Yeah.
So the entire time I was there, which was from like 1998 to 2003, I did not see one person parole. And that's the kind of environment I was living in. Now, maybe on level 1s and 2s, that's different, right? Like people are leaving all the time, but in my corner of the world at that time, nobody left. There was nobody that said, hey, I parole, guys, like I'm going home in 2 months, or we never even seen that in Tehachapi. I can't even recall seeing that in Salinas Valley, my next prison. I did see it at my third prison, but for the audience, like I didn't see that until years and years of being in prison.
Okay, so it's safe to say when you're in Tehachapi, most of the people there, or the large majority of people there, they were, going to be either doing decades or they were lifers.
I would say 90% or 90-something% was all lifers, and maybe we had a guy or two that had like 20 years or 30 years or even a 15-year guy. Like I can't remember nobody having that because I just like literally remember lifers, but maybe somebody did have that time. But when you have that time, you still got to do 15 years. So, you're and then you're around us. So can you imagine the guy that gets a 15-year sentence, and he's in Tehachapi with all these lifers, and this is a yard where we brag about who got the best stabbing. Like, oh, who got the best bag out on the yard? And they'll say a name and a hood. And we'll be like, oh, man, and everyone's trying to outdo that. This is your goal. Your future goal is this, you know? And can you imagine the guy that has 15 years and he's looking around and like, maybe that poor soul is thinking like, man, I'm never going to get out right here.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Or maybe.
And if he's not thinking, maybe he's thinking about, hopefully I don't die in prison. You know? It's hard to say what someone else is thinking. But it's that dim of a light. There is zero hope. And there is zero, like to do good. It's like zero, encouragement. It's like zero encouragement to do good in this environment.
So it seems like it's kind of opposite. It's you know what's good is bad, and what's if that makes any sense, you know, people they push
absolutely it does, James. It does that, and you know what? I'll say something about good and bad being good later, but it's completely opposite of what society is. It's like the worst you could be, the better you are. The more everyone looks at you like, oh man, that guy's achieving, that guy's exceeding, that guy's excelling. Like, man, he's doing a great job, and all you're doing is like in a scale of bad to good, you're doing all the things that are bad, and that's your striving for more bad things. That's the kind of environment that was.
But at that time, when these things are going on around you, I mean, you're not thinking about these things being bad, right? In your mind, you're like, you want to do these things, right?
Yes, absolutely. In my mind, everything I'm doing is good. In my mind, everything I'm doing is correct, and that's because the stream of the river, right? And I don't know if you guys remember, but the last time or one of the times I told you, I go to reception and I rip up my addresses and I rip up like all contact from the streets, because at that time I don't know, but I'm hurting, but I don't realize it. I could look back and see how much I was in pain, but at the time I'm just like, soldier up, be a man, because this is your life now, and accept it and deal with it, and don't be a burden no more to your family, right? So in an isolated place, what I was actually doing was isolating myself more from normal people, right? Because my family don't know about prison. I never told them like anything that was happening with me on the streets. Now I'm older. You think I'm going to tell them something about what's going on in prison? I felt like these were our secrets. This is our society, and honestly, I felt like if you told your family or a girl, like, you were in the wrong for that, because they shouldn't know our business in here. They shouldn't know the things we're doing. Like, this is our world. That's it, you know? And in time, I realized a lot of guys tell their girls stuff that goes on in here, and I was never like that. Bro, I had a wife, and she was completely naive to the things that were going on in prison. Like, that's how far I kept them, because I felt like as a man, as a criminal, you don't let them in your business. You know, like, it's kind of like you're the Gaudis or something, and the wives just cook at home, and you guys are taking care of everything. That's the kind of way I was looking at this.
Did you ever end up sharing any of that with your wife, or did it remain the same?
You know, in the later years, like after we had been together for a long time, right? After I get to a point where I'm changing my life, right? Yeah, we go back in history sometimes, and I would share like, well, this is what I was doing right here, and she was like, I had no idea. Like, I had no idea you were involved in any of this, you know? But it's only in a reminiscence, like I was out of control, you know? I was I was completely out of control, and it's only when I started to change that she learned a little bit more about things. But even with a little bit more, I don't go into detail. Like I don't go and take her by the hand and walk her down and do this and that, right? I feel some things should just always be like a secret, you know. But believe me, guys were telling their girls everything, and I was on the side like, hey, you're messing up, bro. You better stop that. And then eventually, cell phones get in the picture, and it seemed like all the girls out there knew all kinds of stuff.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
All the girls knew all kinds of things, and I was like, that's because these gentlemen that it was just a difference. Like I wasn't a bragger. I wasn't that wasn't me. I was like silent and quiet, And then you have all these other guys that are looking from the outfield, and they're trying to say everything, to probably appear tougher to the girl or probably appear important. I don't know what's in those individuals' minds, but I was always against that,
And a moment ago, you mentioned that, and actually, and one of the parts you had mentioned that you had kind of like given up, on the outside world, on your family, and you had, tore up all your contact information or their contact information because prison was going to be your life, and that's what you were going to focus on. Did that ever end up changing?
Yeah, that ended up changing. I would say it ended up changing faster than I thought that was it. Like I thought I was never going to talk to my mom again. I thought that you don't see too much into the future when you're that young. At least I didn't, right? So I thought that would be the end of it. The reality is that my mom never stopped writing me, and my sisters, right? And after months and months of reading, and not replying, just reading, we're worried about you and all those things that a loved one would be going through. I was like, man, I felt bad. On some degree, as hard as I want to be, as macho as I want to be, as a roughneck, raw dog as I want to be, this starts hurting me. And I'm like, you know what? I guess it's not so bad to have them in your life again, right? So I reestablish ties with certain members of my family, right? Like the closest ones. And all my friends at this point, I did the same with them. So I only reestablished like a girl I used to be with, like a best friend and that best friend, but everyone else I keep them out the picture, right? And man, it was just it was just a rough time, It was just a rough time I was going through, and I didn't know how to handle that. And that's how I handled it. But they did get back in my life. And one thing I want to say for the audience is when I was on the streets, remember when I'm 12, I tell my mom, don't give me money. And that's kind of like how it stayed. Like I felt as a man, and I'm a little kid right here. I'm 12 years old. But I felt as a man, you don't take money from your mom if she's struggling because she's poor, right? And when I come to prison, somehow, some way, I forgot that, right? So she started sending me $100 every month, and back then they would take like $22, so you would stay with 78. But in the future, when I meet a girl comes into my life, I again go on this trip like, hey mom, like I thank you for the money you were sending me, and like I'm a girl now, and like I don't need money from you, So I'm still trying to. I'm in my 20s now, and I'm still trying to tell my mom like I'm a man now, Like I do the whole process over again, right? And what that is in technical terms, I think that's called arrested development. And when a girl meets a guy in prison, pretend the guy's like my age, 17 when he gets busted, and he's 25, he's about to parole, right? I'm sure all kinds of girls have had a similar situation, or if you dealt with somebody in prison. Because my wife told me this when we were young. She was like,
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
They say if you get out now, like how do you know you're going to be with me? Like you don't know that because you're still going to, like they say, your brain stops, your mind stops, and you might want to be with other girls because you haven't did that in your life yet, right? And that's arrested development. And what I'm saying here is like even in my whole time in Tehachapi, remember how I came to the county jail? Now, I get stuck mentally in the county jail. I get stuck wanting violence. I get stuck, and this goes for mostly every criminal I know. We get stuck, and that's Arrested Development. And while I'm living and I'm getting older, I'm still that little boy right there. I'm still chasing the exact same things that I was chasing right there. When I was going through traumatic events in the county jail, I did not view them as traumatic events. I viewed them as excitement. I was changing the reality of what was happening, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
All right, so our call just came to an end. He should be calling us back shortly, and he'll go ahead and continue on his journey. And I would say, he at this time he hasn't been in prison more than 2 to 3 years, and he's already, you know, been through quite a few things. I do appreciate, he is very detailed with his journey. He's definitely, painting a clear picture.
This call is
Este
now
es
being
Global
recorded.
Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call.
Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello, Joe.
Hello.
All right, so
Yeah.
right now, before you continue, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Biddy K. She just typed in. She's coming in live and direct from the United Kingdom, the UK.
Okay. I love that, man. I love we're stretching it overseas.
Yeah, who would have thought? I never thought about this, before I started or during my time, these last few months doing this podcast. I never, imagined, we were going to be, communicating with people in, other parts of the world. I'm just thinking about Los Angeles, California, and it's definitely, growing into something else that I never imagined.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And man, I think it's gonna get wider and bigger as we go.
Yeah. Okay, and I just sidetracked you right now, and you were speaking about arrest and development.
Yeah, I was, because we get stuck, right? And let me just break it down for people in a nutshell, right? You're 35 years old, you're 40. Let's just use the drug analogy, right? You're still doing drugs. So when you were 12 or 13 or 14, and when you first started doing drugs, like you like that, and you stay stuck on it. So when people are in their 20s, the same individual, he's in his 20s, and they're trying to put him in rehab, and they're like, you got to stop this, you got to stop this. That's arrested development. That man is still that 12-year-old kid, that 14-year-old kid getting high. Now, when he gets older and he's 35 and he's still doing the drugs, like he's stuck. And people, I don't know if the drug world views it like that. But arrested development, it applies to many different categories in your life. It's when you're mentally stuck in that age, right? So when I'm in Tehachapi, I want to be Billy Badass again. Like I even tell myself, okay, I'm now in prison. The county don't count. What did I tell myself?
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
What did I tell myself in the county? Oh, the streets don't matter no more. That don't count. Let me reestablish myself. You're still in that arrested development, and that's why my bad behavior is continuing, because obviously at this time I don't realize this. I don't know this. I don't even know that term. Nothing. I'm still misleading to myself, and I don't even know I'm doing it right here. Bro, I when I reestablish contact with my mom and them, I am so bad right here that I am even lying to them, telling them that they can't visit me because I'm in the shoe, right? I'm behind glass. The logic in that was like, I'm mad. I'm not going to have my family drive 3 hours to see me for 1 hour. That doesn't make sense to me. I'll just wait till I hit the line again, and then I'll let them know they could come. And my poor family, what am I doing to them by doing this? Remember, my mom's against the government. she's like anti-government and anything under it. So now I'm installing her belief system even stronger because I'm telling her, oh, the cops, you know how the cops are. The cops are just mean. I just can't have visits because I'm not telling her the reason why. Again, I keep them completely blind, completely naive to what's going on in prison. At this time, she don't even know I'm in the shoe. You know, I'm not even telling her I'm in trouble. But if she comes up, she's gonna see that glass, and I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking exactly, but I know I was hiding the truth from her, and it was all because of me and me telling her the cops are stupid and you know them. She's agreeing, like, yeah, I know. Don't worry, mijo, I know. Um, that's continuing her belief system in the government's corrupt and all that. You know, we're just the blind leading the blind and hurting each other all over again. And for selfish reasons, I was doing that. You know.
Man, that's yeah. That's the. I really appreciate you sharing that with us. Hey, and I want to share something with you. So normally, I'm sitting right here on the computer, and I can't move around and whatnot. And I just remembered I bought some wireless headphones last year, and I'm finally putting them to use. So if I ever need to walk away or whatever, I could walk away really
Yeah.
quick, and I could still still hear what what you're saying. The only thing is if I got to respond to you, I got to run all the way back to the to back to my computer where the microphone's
Oh.
at.
Okay. Good. You said that because if I know if it stays a little silent now, I'll just continue talking, bro. Because I'm gonna picture you running back. You know.
I'm like, oh, I'm not trying to trip over anything. Like, so I gotta make sure I got no
Yeah.
obstacles or baby toys around me. Because imagine I eat it and stuff. I'm gonna be man down over here and trying to get back to this microphone.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And we can't have that. We
No,
need
no.
you to press those little buttons and pick up the calls. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, but
Yeah.
hey, but you know what? I'm glad, like with all you went through, you reestablished, communication with your mom and your family, because they're definitely important, and those are the people that are always gonna be on your side, no matter what, just look at what you did, and they're still by your side, and they're gonna be your biggest support system, and they're always gonna be there, to root for you, because obviously, they want you to be good, they want you to do good, and they want you to, come home and be productive. Um, you did something horrible, and they expect you to come out and do something positive with yourself. So hopefully, with everything you've been through, you're looking at life differently than when you went in.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, I am, man. It's if you could put me as that little kid, if you could take me right now and put me when I was that young side by side in the same room, I would be dead, bro, because that little dude would have killed me. He was just like too. He was too the Hulk, you know. And I'm like Bruce Banner now. That it's just a completely different person. The walk, the talk, the thoughts, everything, you know. And I know we all grow, but I was so extreme back then that my growth I think it's a lot more contrast than other people, you know, because it's like two different people. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're not gonna let him run back. Okay,
Nah. I
okay,
was
you're
here.
right
I was
there.
here, but I always put the microphone on mute just in case somebody runs, comes in here, or my daughter walks in and asks me something. So it's not captured
Okay,
on the background and whatnot.
yeah,
Uh, so the last time we spoke, I think we had left out. You're already in Tehachapi, right? But the last time we spoke, right?
yes,
Okay, and that's
yeah, the
where,
early stages of Tehachapi. That's
yeah,
where the story continues.
and definitely you have been through some interesting events. That whole a needle situation, and then running across the yard, and then your celly, pushing that officer. Uh, so
Yeah,
you know. That was quite eventful.
yeah,
Definitely interesting way. Your presence in the jeep or the main line. Um,
yeah.
do you know what happened with your celly? Did he just catch an in-house charge, or did he catch some street charges?
No, at this point in time in prison, like I don't know if it's ever changed because 180s are that violent and that gruesome, right? And they really don't pick nothing up. Like you would think with all these stabbings and even the murders that happen, right? Like you would think, oh, their DA office stays busy, right? The reality is this: if you pick up a murder, like more likely than not, they're gonna pick that up, right? But in some cases they don't. You will be like, dang, that okay. And in stabbings, like at this time, it's like everybody was doing them, but everyone has life. So from a DA's perspective, they're probably like, why am I going to waste the taxpayer money if there's no more punishment we could do to this guy? Like he's never going to get out. They know this at this time. He's never going to get out. He's never going to see the light of day again. For us to pull him down to court, maybe he stabs one of these guys over here. Like he's too corrupted. We don't want nothing to do with him. So I'm assuming they were thinking like that because they're not really picking anything up. Now, if you have two strikes, the dynamics changed. Because if you just stab somebody and you're a true striker, like this is the easy win for the DA. And guess what, guys? We get to keep him forever. This guy's going to have life now. And back then, I think it was $84,000 a year per inmate. So we're not talking about the business side of prison, but if we were, prison is $1 billion industry in California. I'm not talking about the rest of the states. I'm talking about California state alone. Back then, they used to get about $84,000 per inmate. So each cell is $168,000 a year. I mean, I don't know where all the money goes, but we get three pair of pants, 3 shirts. Our meals cost $1. I learned that through a 602 process. Our breakfast, everything entirely costs $1. Dinner costs $1. Lunch costs $1. That's $3 a day. The clothes they give us last us until we get another shoot term or we're transferred out. The bed sheets and all that last us forever. We do flush the toilet a lot. We do use the light a lot. The TV stays on, electricity. I get that. So when you break it down as a business aspect, I mean, to house an inmate is profitable, you know?
And let me ask you, you know how you mentioned earlier on that a lot of DAs weren't picking up cases, you know, on people that had life. Do you know if that was the same for any prisons that were located in
Esta
Riverside County?
llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
That were located inside Riverside County? Did they have the same stance on not picking up charges, or because I know when it comes to Riverside, they're a little bit different when it comes to
stricter.
Yeah, they're stricter. Yeah.
Well, I don't think the county plays a factor in this aspect. I think the prison does, because if you're in a Tehachapi, a Salinas Valley, Pelican Bay, High Desert, New Folsom, New Delano, New Corcoran, right? If you're in one of those, whatever county you're in sees a high murder rate in prison, or definitely a high stabbing rate in prison, right? So anywhere outside of those counties, I don't know how they play it, because the dynamics of the prisons outside of those are going to be different, obviously. You might have a prison where stabbings don't happen that much, and when one does, it's a big deal. It's like, oh my God, that guy stabbed that guy. And it can be only 8 times, only 16 times, and it's a big deal at that prison. So I don't know how the DAs would handle that elsewhere where they're not used to it, because in these prisons they're used to it, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense, and thank you for clarifying on that.
Yeah, no problem.
And then
and I don't know what they get for us now. I don't know what. I know it's not 84,000 no more, bro. I know everything went up. You know, COVID boosted all prices in the grocery stores. Believe the inmate number went up too. You know.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not gonna get cheaper. I'm pretty sure it's probably getting more expensive, because I know at one point the California prison system was so saturated that they started sending people to other states, Arizona, Mississippi, Oklahoma.
Yeah, Arizona. Yeah. Exactly, and that's from a business aspect, guys. Like anybody that's tuning in for violence, we're not after that crowd, first of all. But anybody that's tuning in for the prison, we're just talking about the business side of it. It is a legit business, you know. And I don't know where it came from. Well, I do know where it came from. Obviously, it came from criminals. We were so terrible to society, they had to put us in here, right? But after that point, somehow, some way, you know, it became a business.
Yeah, just like anything, you could make money off of it, and you
Yeah.
got you got you
Yeah,
got
why
you,
not?
you got people lined up, ready, to commit crimes and come
Yeah.
in. Then it's a
Yeah,
no-brainer.
yeah.
So I
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. We were all like cell phones. They're like, oh, look at the new iPhone 12. Oh, we got the 13 coming in. Hello. We're going to hit the 18 soon, you know? Yeah.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
And it's funny that you
They don't say it like that, but yeah.
it's funny, but it's not funny that that we're laughing about it. But at the end of the day, everybody
Yeah.
in prison is just a money sign. It's a money bag. Endless
Yeah.
money. For 10, 20, even life. So imagine.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah,
these
yeah.
officers, they're putting their kids through school, raking in that OT, and it's all thanks to people out there, committing crimes and whatnot.
Yeah, and that is again, nobody is saying we're not supposed to be in here. We have to be in here. We're being punished for a horrible crime we did. That off the top should not escape nobody's mind, right? But we're just talking about the money side of things. I'm saying that to the audience, Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
And I know it's about to cut off. We got about 4 seconds, so if you could go ahead and return the call, and then you could go ahead and continue with your journey. All right, so the 15-minute call, was came to an end, and I know the last few days there's been some issues with the tablets and the phone system, and from what I hear, what Javier just mentioned to me, I think yesterday or the day before that, they're upgrading the phone system. They're switching over from one provider to a different provider. And he had mentioned again that they're getting rid of the 15-minute limit. So I'm really crossing my finger that is accurate, because that'll definitely help out these calls be run a lot smoother. We would have less interruptions, less we wouldn't need to call back. We could just run one phone call for whatever amount of time that we're on these lives here. So I'm definitely I hope it's true. And let me see. I'm just reading this message. Prison is a business. The minute they allow private prisons, they show their hand. Yep. Yeah. In California, it was crazy. For some years, they were sending prisoners, California prisoners, to different states.
This call is now being recorded.
Hopefully it comes through. It didn't say anything on the prompt, so it might have not connected correctly.
Esta es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un preso recluido en
Centinela. Yeah, finally, Judge got involved.
de la
the
prisión
court.
estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
They
You
ordered
have a
California
prepaid call.
to
You will not be charged for this call.
reduce their population of prison inmates. It's just the phone system's acting up right now. I'm not sure if this call's gonna connect. Hopefully it does.
Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello?
Hello.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That
phone
was
system.
technical difficulties.
Yeah. Somebody just told me that you guys are switching over from one phone provider to a different one. Do you know any? Can you provide us with any information as far as that?
I can. The phone when we used to call out, it will say GTL, right? So now it says Via Path, right? And Via Path has always been there for like visiting, or like the girls might be familiar with that, or if you have a loved one in prison, you might be familiar with that name. So now when we go to the phone, that's what it says. And I think they're if you had a JPay account or JPay pictures or stuff like that before, that's they're starting to put that in our phones now, in our messages or whatever. So it's kind of complicating things. It's the phone slowing down. We're having more technical difficulties because of it. I lost numbers I could call, so we had to get some new numbers through Google or like a text-free app. So I lost the ability to call family members with this.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely sucks. Hopefully they sort that out, and hopefully that was just a glitch, and they'll go ahead and rectify the situation and allow contact to these other numbers that you lost contact to.
Yeah, yeah. I hope so. I hope so, James.
Man, I'm over here scrambling around to set up new numbers and stuff. So definitely not a fun
Yeah.
time. And I think I've already exceeded. I can't even open any more Google numbers anymore, just because I got so many accounts already.
There's too many.
Yeah, previous to this,
Yeah.
on one of my last numbers, they even right around the time that I started the channel up, I opened up a new Gmail and a G number, and they ended up banning it. And then I did appeal. They gave me access into the account, but they canceled the phone number. So yeah, I'm tapped out when
Yeah.
it comes to. I've been you know what I've been using.
When it comes to that.
I've been using Google Voice since before it was operated by Google. It used to be operated by this company called Grand Central, and this was, I'm talking about maybe like
Yeah.
15 years ago. That's how I have one number that I've had that long. So
Okay.
yeah, I've been doing this for quite some time when it comes to these virtual numbers.
Okay, I like it. Savvy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. So the reason I set up these number was because back in the days, cell phone plans, they were not unlimited. You either had like a 1,000 minutes a month, or in my case, I had a family plan. I think in our plan was 1,000 minutes or 1,500 minutes, but
Yeah.
they used to have this feature called Favorite Five, so you could set up five phone numbers, whoever you spoke to the most, and then you could get unlimited calls, but just to those five numbers. So I kind of found the workaway
Okay.
around it. So I found out if I set up one of these numbers, the Grand Central number,
Yeah.
and I could set that number up as my as one of my favorite fives. If I give people
Esta
that number,
llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
if I gave people that number,
Yeah.
then all the calls to that number would be unlimited. So I kind of got around the restrictions, because we did have a family plan of 5 lines, and 1,000 minutes for 5 lines is definitely not gonna last you long. So that was kind of like the trick, to beat T-Mobile at their own game.
Okay. And that's some knowledge for you California viewers that have been doing this for years and don't know where you got it from. Thank you, James.
Man, yeah. So, but not to digress from the conversation here. I don't want to take shine
Yeah.
away from you. So I'll go ahead and hand over the mic, and then you could go ahead and do your thing, and you do it so eloquently.
Okay. Thank you for that. Last time we were talking, I was taking you through my journey into Tehachapi, right? And after that was over, and I'm sitting in the cell, and I'm thinking like, man, that was terrible. That I didn't feel good about nothing I said, and it's for this reason. I'm trying to tell you a story and leave all kinds of details out, and the story's not going to make sense like that, right? So I'm going to try to tell the story of Tehachapi like through my feelings or through what's going on, and leave very little of Tehachapi out because it's so bad. This prison is so bad, and a lot of bad things are happening, and I'm not trying to share all that stuff, because I don't want a little kid to hear it and think, oh man, that sounds cool or whatever, right? So I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to enlighten anybody that it can help anybody. Like you might be a district attorney listening in on this call. I don't know. But if you could take something positive away from what I'm saying, then that's the goal. You could be a little kid hearing the story, and if you walk away a better person for it, that's the goal. If you're a parent and you're like, that clicked for me, that's something to remember. That's the goal right there, right? The goal is ultimately for a better tomorrow. But I do have to say some things because my whole story in prison won't make sense if I don't, right? So I'll continue there. I'm in Tehachapi, and regular homies gave me my first section. And I'm defiant, I don't want it. Now, there's reasons why I don't want it. I want to be wild. Remember, I just want to hurt people right here. Like I'm coming in, I'm broken. I don't even know I'm broken, and I want to inflict pain. And being given a section is a responsibility. So if I'm given it, I know I can't act like I want to act. I know I have to be, okay, guys, I got to be responsible because you're responsible for everybody else. So when they give me the first the whole yard, which is about 15 inmates, I didn't want that, and I'm defiant, and I don't want it. I'm looking for every excuse to get out of these two positions they put me in. Now, I want it. I don't want it for the same reasons. I want to be wild. I want to be a wild stallion right here. And if you're in a leadership position like that, you can't be. You got to be the example. You got to be the judge, the jury, and the DA. You got to do everything, right, with everybody's life that's under you. Now, looking back, I could clearly see what they saw. They seen this guy that's willing to do anything. And looking back, I could see, like, how would you not want a Derek Jeter on the team? How would you not want Alex Rodriguez, Aaron Judge? Like, how do you not want that? So looking back, I could see how they were looking at me, and they were like, oh, he's perfect. He just needs training, or he just needs this. And look at it from a company standpoint, guys. When you're in a company and you want this position or that position, like, the company don't care what you want. They're thinking, where do you fit best? Where do you fit best to advance this company? And if you're not thinking advance the company, then you're thinking, where do you fit best where everything's running smoothly, right? Where everything's going in accordance. So it's just like a business, but nobody's thinking of it like a business standpoint. But apparently, these people seen future corrupted potential in me, or they were like, go right there. There's a bad side to this. It's when you make a decision, you pay with blood. Like, if your decision ain't spot on, you pay with blood. And you might go to PC at this time for that. Or you might stick around, double back, and still try to get in these positions, because some people are hungry for this. I wasn't one, And I'm comparing it to a business. Well, we used to use the term in here. And just like don't crash and burn, we would say don't ruin your career. And even if you take prison out of it and you put the streets in it, a criminal that comes in and out of jail, like James was talking, like the recidivism rate, right? What does society call those guys? A career criminal. So he's building his not reputation, he's building his resume, right? So at this time, I don't even know I'm building a resume. I don't even realize that. I just know I don't want these positions. After this point, I go on a string of, like, no matter where I went, no matter who was there, somehow, some way, they were doing it again. And I went on a string of this. Now, I say this to say this. This made my life easy in prison. It made my life privileged, so to speak. It made everything be easy. And now I never have a spotlight of, like, the next victim. Because, before the next victim is there's like spotlights. And we're like, okay, that guy, I could see him. And it's where all this plottery goes and everything else. And then there's one final aspect I'm going to say about this. And that aspect is, you measure the character of a man when you give him power. So when you're given these positions, you have control over a platoon, so to speak, over a unit. That is power. And some people, they spaz out in their mind, and they do all kinds of stupid things, and those people will suffer those consequences, right? But when you don't mess up, is what I'm trying to say. When you do not mess up, people are looking at that. And just like in a business, just like in a company, they're like, hey, that guy fit good right there. And they're like, hey, well, let's leave him there because there's guys on top of you with executive jobs, and they don't want to lose their spot to you. But at the same time, they know you're doing great. And in time, just like a company, picture everything that will happen at a company standpoint, right? So remember, I didn't like this in the beginning. I didn't want it. I didn't want nothing to do with it. In time, as time progressed in Tehachapi, I grew to appreciate what role I was in, and I grew to like it even. And I finally felt this sense of belonging, right? And I'm not saying belonging to a gang. I'm not even saying belonging within my peers, because remember, I'm trying to one up everybody, right? So I'm not even saying that. Like that reading thing, I've been practicing on reading, like I could read more now, right? I'm not even saying that. I'm saying I felt a sense of belonging in life. Like I felt like I belonged in the world. And this has to be so against the norms of society, right? Because everything we're doing is bad. And here I am finally feeling what maybe a Harvard kid feels when he graduates, when he's going to go into the world, when Mark Zuckerberg's going to make Facebook and it launches, and he's like, wow, man, I belong. I knew I was important, you know? So I'm feeling that. And I wore it like a coat. I was good at it. I was excellent at it. And I end up leaving the shoe. But before I leave, look at this is how good I was, right? It's going to be an example where don't go into much details. But before I leave the shoe, before I have to abandon my peers, before I have to go back to the line, right? And we used to call this paroling because we all got life. No one paroles no more. So when you parole from the shoe, that means you're going back to the main line. And I tell my peers, hey guys, I'm going to change this. I'm going to make a door. I'm going to make a door that I can open and I can hand you something. And you know, they you know, you're a little kid, and everybody at this time, now I'm in a different part of the prison. Now there's little kids like me too. But there is older people that have been in prison for years and years and years, and they're right there with us for one reason or another. And you know, they see the ambition I have, but they're like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, none of you guys thought of this, and none of you guys pulled it off, because obviously we don't have the door. As long as I've been in Tehachapi, there's never been.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Hello. I think they're having some issues again with that phone, so hopefully, you know, it comes back sooner than later, because we definitely can't
Being
hear
as a criminal here. Oh, you can't hear nothing?
Yeah, it went dead for like, oh, there. Well, anyways, the call just ended. So, hey, I want to go ahead and give a shout out to all you guys. You really, really appreciate the support here. Drew P. Huevos and Righteous Monkey, you know, really appreciate you guys tapping in. I'll go ahead and let them know that you guys are in here supporting, and got to recognize, you know, the support. You know, we're here, you know, because of you guys, and hopefully you guys find some value in this YouTube channel.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
Un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You have a prepaid call. Will not be charged for this call.
Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello, Joe.
Hello?
Just
Yeah.
just want to go ahead and let you know, and hopefully this doesn't give you a stage fright here. But we do have 10 people listening to you right now, 9 or 10 people, and
Okay.
and also we have
I fall on my face, huh? Boom.
we have Droopy Huevos tapping in. He puts saludos to both you vatos, and then we also have
Okay.
Oh, and then he also puts same person, Droopy Huevos. Love the name. He puts saludos to
Yeah.
no, so I read that one already. He put buenos dias. Love this positive. All right, yup. And then we
Okay.
also got Righteous
Yep.
Monkey tapping in. Shout out to James
Okay.
and Joe.
Okay. Yeah, send my love back to everybody shooting comments, everybody listening, and hopefully everybody walks away with something they could share that brings more positivity into this world, you know?
Yep. And then he also, Droopy Huevos also puts message are for youth. Hopefully it can help steer the youth in a positive lifestyle, and not just youth. I think everybody in general, because sometimes there's people that they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and even 60s that are still stuck in that mentality. It's fine. If they're fine with it, and
Yeah.
they don't want to change their life around. That's fine also, but maybe they'll listen to something like this and then they snap out of it and realize that that there is more to life than just prison and gangs. The world is huge. There's a lot to be seen, a lot to learn, and hopefully this will help some people navigate away from that and to some type of positivity.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because I'll say something about that after I'm done with this. Because I just wrote this word down that I want to say, and it is me and so many like me to the core.
All right. So I'll go ahead and hand off the mic to you, and then Marlene also tapped in.
Did you guys hear everything I was saying? Because I kind of heard you say, like, definitely can't hear nothing right now.
No, so we lost maybe like a good, like maybe 15, 20 seconds of that story you were going down.
Do you know what the last thing I said or no?
No.
Well, it's too hard. I'll just say a little bit
Yeah.
back. I'll just say a little bit back. Okay, Marlene, good morning, and thank you for tuning in. Sending my love to all the viewers, all the audience today. Hello?
Yeah. I was waiting on you.
Oh, okay. I was like, did we cut off again?
No,
Did we
no,
cut
no.
off again?
No, we're
Okay,
good.
so I'll just take it back. Maybe like 15 seconds of what
Okay.
I was saying.
Yeah.
I tell all these guys that I'm gonna have to leave right here because I'm going to the main line. I tell them I'm gonna make a door, and I'm saying this to say how good I was at this. Here you have guys that have been in prison for decades that know this game inside and out more than me. I'm learning off of them type thing. I'm a rookie on the field, so to speak, right? I'm a rookie on the field, and you got the coaches and everybody right there. And I tell them I'm going to do this, and they don't understand how, and I don't understand how, but I know I'm going to do it. And my mind finally figures out a way. And then anybody who's been to Tehachapi, like there is a handball wall, and the shoe sits far from the other buildings. So we talk in sign language when we can to express messages or such, right? But these buildings are so far that you cannot read nobody's hand from that far. It's just impossible. You need some binoculars or something, right? So I create, and nobody did this before me. I create a language by using the light and the cell window. So as far as you can see the other cell window, we could talk. Now I teach my cellie this language, and we're practicing it before I leave because I have to leave soon. And when we practiced it, he's like, okay, I got it down. And I'm like, now you practice. And the other building probably looked at us like, man, them guys got too much energy. They keep turning their lights off and on. So I create like a Morse code, so to speak, right? And when I parole to the main line and I leave them, we're able to talk like this. And now all the guys that I left, they're all flashing their lights like, oh, man, we don't believe it works. We don't know how to do it, but it's cool you did, right? And now here's where I go into making the door. With nothing said and straight to it, I make a door. And sometimes you might have a door with a cop, like a cop will pass something, like if you think he's corrupted enough, and he maybe he is, maybe he ain't, right? But there's always a risk if a cop's involved that they're reading these messages and they're not saying nothing, but they know everything that's going on, right? So this is different, guys. This is a door with no cop involved. This is no cop, straight criminal to criminal, and I can physically get them things. What do I do in my criminal thinking? I get them a bunch of razor blades because they're in the back and they don't have weapons.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I get them colored pencils, stuff that they don't have back there so they could draw with. I get them tobacco because they can't have tobacco back there. So I'm sending everything to them, and I'm not being too greedy. It's like, believe what I just did. And that also helped my easy life in prison. It also helped me have an easy life in prison because everything follows you, right? And here I am doing so good in a negative environment that when I leave Tehachapi, I do something else, and they give me a shoe, and Tehachapi's like, forget this guy, get him out of here. So in the future, they end up getting me out of there. They end up transferring me to Salinas Valley. And Salinas Valley, C Yard, it's another 180, right? And when I get to C Yard, you're coming with a bunch of inmates on the bus, right? They're coming from here, there. You're stopping at that prison, picking some up, dropping other guys off. All I know is my destination is Salinas Valley. So when I get there, there is a reception, like a orientation unit. That's what they call it, orientation unit. All the new guys have to come to this section in this building before they could get released to the rest of the main line. So when we go in there, they have something like representative, so to speak, right? These guys, the cops let them into every building. The cops let them walk around, and they're there to fix problems or whatnot, right? And they're appointed, like you vote them in or whatnot, right? So when we're off the bus and we go to Salinas Valley, it's not too long after where I get these guys to come to my door. And they come to my door and they're like, hey, we heard a lot of good things about you. These are individuals I don't know, by the way. They're complete strangers, And they know me. They know I just landed, but they never met me in my life. So they come and they tell me, like, hey, we heard a lot of good things about you. The homie sent word, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. I'm getting the best possible welcoming that an inmate can possibly get arriving to a prison. And my cellie at the time, he don't know what's going on. So now he's looking at me with question marks all over his head, like, he has questions. I'm not even going to say what they are, but I just tell him, look, I'm a regular homie. I'm here for the people. I tell him like that. I'm here for the people, bro. You don't got to have your guard up with me, And in all honesty, in my life at that time, I was thinking, I'm here for the people. I'm here for the betterment of all my people. I look back now, and that's wasted youth. You got this kid who has so much talent, and it's being displayed in a negative aspect, right? It's being displayed on the worst yards California has to offer in a prison setting. And when I look back, it's all wasted youth. Because if I would have been smart enough to not even commit the crime, right? There's no telling what that same mindset does in in a career standpoint, because I'm doing things that nobody's ever done, and I'm saying it with that door. Like, that was big to do that, and I'm the one that did it. And you do something like that, it lasts for years, bro. It lasts for years, you know. But to be the one that actually did it, it just shows how my brain was evolving, and it's all wasted. It's all wasted youth, you know. And in the beginning in Tehachapi too, when they were giving me these things, and like I didn't want them, I wanted to be on the field. You know, I'm like, put me in, coach. I want to be on the field. But as a company standpoint, you know, we don't even want to let you be Emmitt Smith. We got Emmitt. We got running backs. We got a lot of those. We don't want you to be that. Your mind is different. We don't even want you to be the quarterback. We don't even want you to be a Patrick Mahomes, a Tom Brady. No, you're a coach on the sidelines, bro. You win the game. You don't risk injury getting in it, you know? And it was just an ugly life I had back then, guys. And it might have been viewed differently in a prison, in an ugly setting like that. But that first prison really helped me have an easy life in prison. Because after that, everything was it was easy. Salinas was easy. New Delano was easy. Every prison after I went to that was easy, based on everything that was happening right there, and little things continued to happen, you know. One thing I didn't say about Tehachapi that I really want to say is that I had a Sally on my first shoe term that came from Calipat State Prison. And this Sally, he taught me something right there. I learned a few things right there. This is one of the things he teaches me. He tells me, you know, once a month, I try to look back at my life and see the mistakes I did. And then if I'm really on it, I try to do that every week, right? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's telling me, well, I mean, like, I might have talked bad to a homie. Now, if I talk back to him, is he sitting on that? Is he sharpening his weapon? Is he going to stab me the next yard? So if I do something that I felt was a mistake, I'll double back.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
I'll double back in life, and I'll tell him, like, hey, fool, I just want to get at you to say I'm sorry. I shouldn't have spoke like that. You know, another guy's probably going to be like, oh, it's okay, fool. Like, don't trip. I didn't take it. I knew this or whatever, right? He's trying to fix his wrong, so to speak, in real life. And when he taught me that, I didn't take it the way he taught me it. I took it like, okay, if I could be a better homie, I got to think about today. And sometimes we have meetings and we're talking, and when we're talking, if somebody says something that I knew, I will go back in the cell and beat myself up for that. And I'll be like, you knew that. You could have said that first. You could have beat him to the punch. And there's no competition, guys, right here. There's no competition. But I am trying to make myself sharper. I am trying to make myself better. Now, I'm doing this in a criminal aspect of life. Now, what I didn't realize at the time, and it took me years to learn what he was actually teaching me, was daily inventory, right? That's you know, if anybody's been to AA out there in a...
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
We have in here a CGA, Criminal Gangs Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. You know, they teach you that, to take a daily inventory. That way you could be aware of what's going on with you, right? You could do it on your emotions, on whatever. Somebody taught this guy that, but they didn't teach him that this is like a coping tool. They didn't teach him that. They just like said it in a cell, and he rode with it. And then he teaches me it down the line, and now I completely twist this because it's meant for good. I completely twist this daily inventory, and I'm doing it for bad. That's probably why the reason was that I even created the door, because I'm constantly thinking, how can I get better? How can I get better? How can I be a better criminal? How can I be worse than the rest of them? Which is good to me at the time, right? I didn't even know that was a tool until years later with self-help came into the picture.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this moment to give everybody a shout out here that's currently tuning in or that's dropped a comment here on the chat. So I'm gonna go ahead and start up with Biddy K coming in from the UK, Droopy Huevos, Righteous Monkey, Marlene, LA Analyst, Richard, and then we have a bunch of other people that are not in the chat right now, but I'm pretty sure they'll catch this stream on the rebound. So we're gonna go and start off with El Iceman, Lifestyles Chronicles, Fish Slayer SoCal, and I definitely gotta make a list for all these names because I really have a horrible memory here. It's harder for me to keep track of all these names, but I'm trying my best here to shout everybody else that I always see in here. Too Valid, 1, 2, 3, Angel, can't forget about Angel. Let me see here.
Esta es
This
Global
call is now
Telling.
being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
Aquatic Amigo,
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California.
Lifestyles
Esta
Chronicles,
llamada y su
Riverside,
número de
Riverside,
teléfono
Riverside,
será
just in
controlada
case
y grabada.
safety
You have
measure,
a prepaid
I'll go ahead
call. You will not be
and
charged for this call.
Para aceptar esta
1967
llamada,
kid _
diga
Puerto
o
Rican
oprima
flag.
ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
All
Hello?
right, it's all yours.
Okay, man, I kind of lost everything I was even saying. But
Okay.
oh yeah.
So you were
What
talking
happened?
about a coping mechanism about the homie that
Oh yeah, I get it. I'll take it from here. Thank you, James.
all right, gotcha.
I didn't even realize this was a coping tool, right? Because I don't know nothing about self-help at this time, but I was taking it and warping this tool to suit what my lifestyle at this time, right? And there's another thing I learned, and it's probably meant somewhere in some book. They probably meant it for good, but in my warped sense of belief at the time, I take it for bad, right? Because the lifestyle I'm living, we're doing all kinds of bad, and you're trying to get away with all the bad, right? So someone teaches me the rule of 5 P's, and this guy is a gangster disciple from Chicago, and he got busted over here, like at the airport and whatnot, right? So he's in jail with us, and he teaches me a rule that I guess is taught out there. And he goes, "Your homeboys don't teach you that?" And I'm like, I've never heard of nothing in my life come close to that, right? And it's real knowledge. And he goes, "This is the rule of 5 P's." He goes, a proper preparation prevents a poor performance. Now, when he said those, they just clicked to me, and I'm like, "Hey, can you say that again?" I'm writing this down. I'm writing it in I'm in the hole when he teaches me, and I write it down, and I'm like, a proper preparation prevents a poor performance. And I sit on that little thing for like 2 weeks, bro. And now everything I'm doing, I'm trying to do it flawlessly after that saying. But I'm trying to do it flawlessly in a negative standpoint. Now, something I didn't say about Tehachapi too is that I'm young, but there's also a lot of young guys with me. Like the lines were young right there in Tehachapi. It seemed like everybody was under 25 years old, and large majority of us are 19, 20, 21, 22. I'm looking at 22 like old, right? And we're all running. Now I'm not in the county jail no more, where it's only me and Alcinor, and we're doing all this craziness, right? Now I'm meeting peers from LA County, from different parts of LA County, from Orange County, from San Diego. I'm meeting Santa Barbara's and Bakers, right? And I'm like, these little fools are down. Like, I could see them. And I feel like I'm amongst my peers, and I feel like I finally, I feel like, man, I'm finally around people where I don't have to do everything, Now they're running with me. Well, what we're being taught at that age and that first prison is our life expectancy on the main line is not going to be long lived, because we're going to get in so much trouble that eventually they're going to lock us up in the prison, within the prison, for life. So we're being taught, like, do as much as you can out here, guys, because eventually it all stops. So we're like, okay. And as we're being taught this, I'm running full speed. Now, all these little peers I have that I admire, that I'm like, man, this guy's courageous, this guy's this, this guy's that. They're running full speed along with me. We're all like a pack of lions, like a pack of baby lions, and we're all running full speed, right? Now, what they said about us going to the prison, within the prison, it starts happening. So not all of us little guys make it out. Like, some of us get snatched up right there, and they're gone for a long time. Like, this is a 2000.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
This is like 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, the latest, right? I'm talking about. They get took away and they get put in that prison, within a prison, until about 2015, 16, guys. So they're gone a long time. And that used to be for life. Only because things changed, they came out, right? But at the time, we know we're going to go there for life. Isolated confinement, the same lifestyle we're living now, but we're just going to get it for life. So when I make it out of Tehachapi, and when I go to Salinas, I check myself, man, on a criminal aspect. I like, it's like I woke up. I told myself, you are extremely lucky to have had the opportunity to get out of there. And I tell myself this, man, everything them stupid idiots taught you about your life expectancy being this much, right? Now I'm trying, and it's true, it's absolutely true. Your life expectancy was very limited in time if you're doing the things we were all doing, right? But I tell myself, my life expectancy is going to be forever out here. Because these, like out there, you guys got the FBI. In here, in prison, we got correctional officers, and then we got other people that are on top of them. I'm going to refer to them like FBI guys, right? I was like, these FBI guys ain't ever going to be smarter than me. And I tell myself, you know, you were stupid. I could see I was doing this right here. I was doing that right there. I was doing that. And I really just like start checking myself and start trying to be a better criminal at the same time. I'm like, I need to take like a month off. I need to take 2 months. I need to recalibrate. I need to do all this and all that, right? And that wasn't good in itself, because I'm just evolving as a criminal. Now, what I don't see in the near future, guys, is this. In Tehachapi, I had a cellmate that jumped on the website. And he jumps on the website and he meets some girl, and, you know, rich. I'm talking about like movie type stuff, right? Her dad owned a 42-foot yacht or something, and like her driveway is made of like red brick, and we're like, what? Like, she's a millionaire. We're looking at this girl like she's a millionaire. She probably was, I don't know. But anyways, the homie ended up pulling her on the social media site, and she's from Arizona, and we're tripping out like, man, like, what? This is crazy. So I told myself in my head, I go, you know what? I need to go to visit. I need to take a picture, and I need to jump on the website, because I know my future at this point in time is going to be another shoe, here or there or here. Like, I am definitely not done with this life, you know. And I do. I go to visit. And I take pictures, and I end up throwing one. I end up transferring to Salinas Valley, and in Salinas Valley, you know, I'm exposed to a new 180 now, and this 180 has older gentlemen and a couple of young guys, but nothing like Tehachapi. Tehachapi was young, and this is like, I'm like, what's up with all these old guys, you know? But they're veterans in the game, man. They've been in here for years, and they all got life too. And I jump on this website. and I start meeting people, right? It was like prison pen pals. I don't know if Write a Prisoner was out back then, but in the prison world, they have a lot of these websites, right? So I jumped on the cheapest one. I paid $20. I'm like, man, they ain't gonna get me for the 40. I hit 20, and I meet about 10 girls, and then one of them is like I'm clicking. Everything's clicking, bro. I'm writing letters, and at this time I learned how to read already from all the shoes in Tehachapi. I stayed in the dictionary. I would write words down, like a zillion words. I wrote the whole dictionary down basically, right? And I taught myself how to read and write. And when I'm writing her, it starts off like one letter a month or one letter a week, and then it just progressed, bro. I'm getting at least 5 letters a week. I want to double back and say something right here. Guys, at this time and the whole Tehachapi, we have a phone on the wall and you could call people. But the problem is that phone on the wall, none of us ever get to call people because you're always locked down for this or that, or you're always in the hole. Like, it is a phone that hardly ever gets used. It's not like today when the inmates call. I get to call James every day if I want, right? Like, I get to call my family every single day now. Back then, that was out. You didn't have no phone communication like that. And it's because on these 180s, like the violence that happens, when you have a riot, like, cops don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to let you back out because it's going to happen again. So you're locked down for like 2 years at a time, 3 years at a time. Time is flying by and you're in the cell with your cellmate and you got no phone.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
So when I'm saying these letters and these writings and she's making me laugh and I'm making her laugh and next thing you know, sometimes I'll get like 8 letters a week, bro. Sometimes she's writing me like 2 letters a day and I'm like, this girl's crazy. But I'm crazy too because I'm on the bunk. And at this time, I'm a hardcore killer, right? Like, I'm the cream of the crop in prison. And she gets me like a little schoolgirl, I write her letters all day. It turns into my routine. I'm like, do your workout, and the faster your workout's over, you could write her now. So I turn into a writing machine right there, writing letters back and forth, and I'm answering her questions before she can ask them, and everything's like, it's golden, bro. It's a very joyful time in my life. And then little by little, I start writing all the other girls. I start, hey, I got a friend in here. Do you want to write them? And this and that. And eventually, this girl comes to visit me. And our first visit was a disaster, bro. Like, I thought I lost her forever. I'm like, man, I can't believe this. She comes up, and we're in Salinas Valley, and there was a black guy, a Crip, named and this fool knocked out like 5 COs going to the yard. This is when I'm supposed to see her, right? I'm supposed to see her like today, and this fool knocks out 5 cops, and he takes off running, and whatever, it's done. Cops are on the ground. Cops are trying to whoop them. All that incident. The point of the story is she got turned back, bro. She couldn't come to visit because of this. And now I'm thinking, damn it. Like, all this time we've been writing each other. Her first time coming to see me, and she gets sent home. And I'm not even thinking about, I'm not even intelligent enough to think about her feelings at the time. I'm just thinking I lost this girl. Like, damn, that sucks, And she came back later, and she visited later. And when we first met in that visiting room, I was such an asshole because I treat her good, always have, right? But at that first visit, I told her, hey, look, like, there's things I can't say in the letter when I write you, like I can't say them, but I want you to know that I could be going back to the shoe, and you will never get a warning of it. I could go back today when I go back, when I leave here. I could be gone. So don't get used to me. This is me, and I'm never going to change. and I don't want to lie to you either. So I gotta tell you, like, just don't get used to me, because the person I am is not gonna change for nobody, and not even you. And I don't even tell her I love her right here, right? But I do say that, I express that, like I'm a wild boy, and that it is what it is. So take me for what I am, or leave me forever. I won't even want you getting attached. And just know this is a little thing, because the life I live, it's not gonna last anyways. And after we get that conversation out the way, because I didn't want to lie to this girl, and all this time I'm writing her, I'm feeling guilty, because I'm like, I know the lifestyle I'm living, and lying has never really been a part of me,
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
I've always been straight up, like, I'm gonna say what it is, and if anyone got a problem with it, well then handle that, So I had to explain things to her like that real quick, and that's what I want to say. Like, I was a little asshole, because what girl wants to hear, like, that you'll put this life ahead of me, and that's exactly what I was saying, because that's exactly what it was at the time. And I'll call back right now. Yeah, James?
Yeah. No, I'm just here. I thought you were about to hang up, so I just wanted to let you know that I was here and I was ready.
Okay. Well, I'll hang up right now. I'll call right back.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
Man, he's definitely, sharing, that love connection. And I know, when these gentlemen are in prison, having, somebody in the street that could connect with it's huge. It's huge, having somebody, write letters and, get your phone calls and whatnot. And I know now it's a lot easier, now it's instant. You don't have to wait, days, to receive a letter in the mail. You could just get on that GTL app or that Getting Out app and, send a message, or you can even do video calls now and phone calls. So now, communication with somebody that's currently incarcerated, it's instant. It's at your fingertips.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Tellink. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call.
Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tellink.
Hello?
Yeah.
All right. And
I'm right here.
Right now, when the call got disconnected, I went ahead and I was sharing with the audience here about writing letters and collect calls and whatnot. And now it's totally different. Now you don't have to wait days anymore. Everything's at your fingertips now. Whether it's a message, letter, video call, or phone call, that tablet could be attached at your hip if you want, and you could be communicated with your loved one all day, every day, 24/7.
Yeah, bro, it's cupcake now. It's cupcake. Like, there's a point in time where I'm on the phone a lot, like an illegal cell phone in prison, right? But basically, and I used to tell them back then. I used to tell the cops, like, "Why are you getting mad at me? Just start selling them in canteen," and they would get out of here, And eventually, they gave us cell phones, bro, and I can't believe it. And as far as the inmate, it relieves so much stress and so much tension from an individual, right? Because back then, when I'm saying we're writing letters, what I didn't tell the audience is that when she writes me a letter, I probably get it like a month and a half later, 2 months later. So everything we're telling each other is like from 2 months ago. So imagine us getting a phone call, and it's like everything's updated, but in the letters it's all old. Because eventually, sometimes you do get off lockdown and you do call. And it's like that was the environment back then, and the officers would say like it's a security threat. We have to screen them out. We have to do this. We have to look for coded messages. We have to all this and that. And now a letter gets to you in 4 days. So was it that security threat back then?
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
There's a lot of this that goes on in the future. Like back then, if you had LWOP, which is life without the possibility of parole, if you had that in California State Prison, you could not go to a level 3, which I think I've done a pretty good job of saying level 4 180s are the most terrible. Now, a distant second is like a level 4 270. And then after that goes level 3, level 2, level 1. Level 1 being the softest, most non-violent prison place you could end up at, right? Well, LWOPs were deemed not to ever go to a level 3, that they were that dangerous, they were that gung-ho, they were that killer. And then in 2012, all of a sudden, they could go. All of a sudden, it's not that bad. Let's free it up for them. And when this is happening, I'm glad things changed. I am so glad things changed. But to paint a picture of it being like all about reform and restorative justice and stuff like that, it isn't exactly an accurate picture. It isn't black and white. Like I was naive when I was used to think, right, about violence in prison. It isn't black and white. Prison started getting so packed, and LWOPs, remember their decision on LWOPs was to leave them on level 4s forever. The lowest they could go is to 270. Now, what happens when there's so many LWOPs and they're just staying there, and the numbers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger? Now it's going to start overflowing, right? The levy's going to give. And in 2012, they say, hey, guys, we don't think you're that dangerous no more. You could go to level 3s. Was that all reform, or was that the levy that was just getting too big and they had to do something with them? And some things are changed like that. And no matter how they change, they're changed for the better of the inmate. I will say that. But not everything was like peaches and cream and like, hey, we thought of you, so let's do this for you guys. That certainly wasn't,
Thank you for shedding.
Yeah, but hello.
Yeah, thank you for shedding
light on it.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah. And the another thing, say it, James, say it.
No, go. I was just gonna ask you, do you remember where you left off? Because I don't remember where you left off, so I can't help you with that one.
It's in the beginning stages of Salinas. That's all I know. Okay. We'll get there. But I had fun times over there. Fun times in Ridgemont High. And another thing that the prison did do, and I think this was well, I don't know. I mean, in my mind, I think it's the rehabilitative side, right? But then again, like, who knows? If we just packed it all up over here where they're like, we got to get rid of some of these guys, I don't know who we packed the levy again. But later on in the years, they will introduce something that was like, you can get an override. Now, that was never there. You know what? I kind of think if it was rehabilitated, for sure the levy had an impact on the decision of it, right? Because when we're being bad, they give us points in prison, and when they're giving us these points, you come in with like 70, 80 points from the streets, right? Level 1s are like, I think 19 points. So when I'm at Tehachapi, picture my 150, 170 points, like, you can only take 4 points off every year at this time. Was it 4 points? Or let's pretend it's 8. Maybe I'm giving you misaccurate information right here. Let's pretend I could take off 8 points a year, right? If I take off 8 points a year, it takes me 10 years to get 80 points off. If I'm at 160, that leaves me at 80, and at 80, I will still be on a level 4. So the prison system gives you points rapidly. And let me rephrase that because I don't even like how that came out of my mouth. You, as a criminal, give yourself points rapidly through the prison system. Because of your bad behavior, you earn those points, right? But when it's talking about taking them off, that is a very slow decline. It'll take decades to take you back down to drop to a level 3, a level 2, a level 1. It's just like, what are you going to do with 400 points? And remember, these guys they're thriving on being bad. So no one's caring about points right here. The only one that cares about points is the counselor saying, "Hey man, you just keep getting these points," and you're like, "Yeah, so what? So what, stupid?" That's your mind frame at the time. So eventually, in the future, like the near future, 2017 or 18, I'll say 2018, and if not, for sure 19. They introduce a point system where it's like you could get a behavior override, which means you can have 600 points and we'll give you an override to go to a level 3 if your programming is good. And what they deem good is 1 year. 365 days. We could give you this. Now, what the law says and as humans what you feel are two entirely different things. So the law clearly states we get an override right there, right? But the counselor that's looking at you with 600 points is, in their mind, there's no way I'm going to give you an override. Fool, you got 600 points. So through headaches and stuff like that in the beginning years, I think it got better, definitely got better in the later years. But there's still a person at the end of the table that has to make the decision, that has to type it in the computer, that has to present it at a committee, that we're going to give this person a override. And I am thankful that they exist now, but that's something that we never had before either. And credit to all the programs they provide when you go to a lower level, because then you start learning things. You start learning things about yourself. You start learning things about how you could have avoided this crime in the first place. It starts giving you a new perspective to leave that old criminal lifestyle alone, because I can guarantee you this. I don't care who you are. You do 25 years in prison, you do 20 years in prison, you kind of know. Even if you don't know the groups, but you do kind of know, like, hey, man, I am never coming back because I ruined my whole life. And all those years in Tehachapi, I didn't even look at my life like I ruined it, because guess what? I'm having the time of my life in Tehachapi. I am loving every second of it. I don't know that I'm not normal.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Right there, everybody around me is not normal, and we all think we're normal. But you get an eye opener in the future, for sure, to see how dysfunctional we all were with each other. And where I left off was in Salinas, when I'm talking about meeting this girl and writing her and all that. And the first couple of visits I was getting. It's hard to visit an inmate in prison. Gas money, you got bills, you gotta live a life out there, right? So this girl started coming a lot, and all her little money that she was getting was coming on the trip to come see me, gas money. Man, let me rewind, bro. When I meet this girl, she don't even have a car, and I just forgot about that till now, because I'm so used to her having a car her whole life. But when I met her, she's working at Disneyland, bro, and she's giving me like tickets to go to Disneyland, and I can't. I'm in prison. I got life. I can't do nothing. But she's giving them to me, like, here, and give them to who you give them to, And I'll give them to my nephews. They'll be like, "Oh, how cool! Where'd you get these?" I'm like, don't sweat me, homie. Like, who right? So I go on that stupid egotistic trip, right? And she starts learning about girls that visit the prison. And there's a girl that she used to have her own van, and she used to call it the Love Bus. Salinas Valley. It's like 2003. And the love bus will take you to Salinas Valley or High Desert, right? So you give her $80, and she'll bring a van full of girls visiting their boyfriend, the new guys they met. Maybe some of them are married. Like everyone's in a different situation, but everyone's visiting their man, no doubt, because they have strong feelings for him or they love him, you know. And so we start doing that. She's paying $80, and I'm all happy, and I take a picture with her, and in my mind now, I'm ready to go back to the shoe, because remember, in my mind, like, this is not the lifestyle to live on these main lines is not the business. Like, eventually we do something where they take us to jail again. And I'm just happy I got the picture so I could go back to the shoe and show this little picture to all these criminals that I'm so much invested in, and be like, look guys, I was out there with a girl, you know, like, wow, look at me, you know, because none of them were. And these visits turn into a string of visits. I start living out there in the visiting room, bro. I am in a spoiled life I have already in prison. It becomes more spoiled because now I got this girl that loves me, that's showing up at least every 2 weeks. And in the beginning, we don't realize what this is going to do, right? Like, it's new to me, it's new to her. Well, after she bought her car, and a good car, something off the lot, you know, something not a junk, not nothing crazy. It was a good car, you know. Wow, she's visiting me so much that we end up breaking the transmission, or like, I don't know cars like that. I've been in jail all my life, but we break something in that motor, like something gives, and it's 6 hours to Salinas and 6 hours back. So that's a 12-hour ride every 2 weeks, plus she's going to work and she's doing everything down there, and plus, you know, you're driving normal. So we're putting the strain on the car. I get visits from like.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
I think I started getting visits from her in 04. In 03 we were just writing, right? But in 04 she starts coming up like a crazy lady. She's living at the prison in that visiting room with me. And that gave me a new dynamic to prison, because I didn't know at the time, but it was giving me a bubble of normalcy. We will go to that visiting room and we will feel like we were the only two people there. And then that was my only escape to get away from the prison side of things, right? And I started liking that. And I started becoming addicted to that feeling of that bubble in the visiting room. And that's love, guys. Like, I was getting addicted to the love in there, and to how much I matter to her.
Man, that's definitely interesting right there. You know, having you know, a loved one, you know, go visit you and jump on this bus and whatnot. It's kind of cool, you know, that they're offering it, you know, opposed to, you know, having to you know, find other ways, you know, to get out there. But $80, man, that, I mean, back in 2003, that's a pretty steep price to pay. I remember when I was in camp, I used to get one visit a month when I was in camp, and my mom never drove, so, you know, she would have to get rides from people. So that's what she just used to visit me, you know, once a month. But yeah, definitely a hardship, you know, doing things like that.
This call is now being
Global
recorded.
Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call.
Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel-Link.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I just want to touch on, you know, that whole, you know, situation with the love bus and whatnot, man. Definitely, you know, shout out to your wife for doing that, because I know while being incarcerated, that's something that's huge. You know, it takes you, like you said, it takes you out of, you know, prison for those amount of hours that she was out there, and it gives you time to focus on other things besides prison, since you're in prison 24/7, 365 a year. So it is a different outlet that a lot of people don't have the privilege of to partake in, if you will. So huge with having somebody to come visit you.
Yeah, and for the audience, yeah, a prison yard is about 1,000 inmates. You know, never give, definitely take sometimes. Maybe it's 950 inmates, but the capacity is 1,000, right? So when I'm explaining these stories, picture 1,000 inmates out there. Now, in a visiting room, and I don't know this at this time, but I do as life goes on for me in prison. The visiting room holds about 10% of the population. So think of all the other guys that never get visits. It's usually the same people, right? Like when I was in Tehachapi and we're messing up, we started holding resentment for the guys on the line because the mess ups were always the same people. And we're like, they're getting tattoos and they're doing this and they're riding off the back of what we're doing. That's how we started feeling. Now, when I go to the visiting room, it's without those feelings, it's the same thing. It's like, dang, all these guys that I'm coming to the visiting room with, they're always the same guys. Like, that guy might miss a visit here or there, but I know he'll be back out here. You got moms that love their kids, right? And I'm going to say all of our moms love our kids, right? But not to the degree where they're in that visiting room like every weekend or every other weekend. And sometimes you got moms that man, they really miss their little boy, and they don't know how to let him go because he got life in prison and he still looks young. We're in there with the moms and the children and the kids, and the kids still look like kids, and we're like, okay, and we get to know, like me and my wife are out there all the time, so we get to meet moms and sons like this. Like the sons will be the homies and their mom, and we'll talk to them like on a weekly basis because we're always out there with them, and we'll buy food for them or they'll buy food for us, or like it gives you a sense of normalcy that you don't have. And for me, I needed that because I was so far gone, right? I'm so far down the rabbit hole that all I see is other me's around, and we don't get to see normal people. And when I got to that visiting room, it introduced a lot of that to me before rehabilitation hit. Before all that, this started bringing me back. This right here started bringing me back because I shared with James earlier that my family didn't say I love yous, and I stole that from my wife when we start saying I love yous. And then it made me think of my own family, and like I'll be like, do you say that to all your family? Yeah, silly. Like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, damn, okay, so it's opening my eyes, like something wasn't normal with us, And I fixed that in the long run. Like we all say, I love you now. But without that visiting room, who knows how long it takes me to start snapping out of things. Because that visiting room did do a lot for me as a human. It did a lot for me. There was something else I wanted to say about that visiting room, man. Oh, this. Salinas is in my opinion, out of all the 180s I've been to, Salinas was the most strategically violent prison. Not even, yeah, it was the most strategically violent prison. I'll just leave it at that, right? Because for the most part, 180s, each of them have the same reputation. They all think they're really badass prisons, and they all act like it, and they all have the violence to back it up. They have the death rate to back it up. But there was something special about Salinas in that aspect, and it was above the rest. So when I think of Salinas, I don't think of all that madness that was happening on the yard. When I look back and I'm talking to you guys about prison, I look at Salinas like all the good times I had in that visiting room, all the memories that were there. And at the same time, there's overpowering memories of all the bad. And they seem so far, you know? They seem so far. So, in a comparison,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
in a comparison from bad to good, and I only spent 3 years there. I was there 03, 04, 05, and I left in the beginning of 06, right? So think of 50 Cent. When 50 Cent came out and all that first Get Rich and Die Trying album came out, that's when I'm in Salinas Valley. Matter of fact, shout out to 50, bro, because his 21 Questions song, man, that's the first song I dedicated to this girl. And it's a beautiful song, you know? And for me, it was fitting at that time, and it was brand new. I want to say something else about Salinas Valley. My girl started coming up on the love bus, and so did so many other friends started coming up on the love bus, right? When it was all said and done, the girls stayed friends. You know, these girls that didn't know each other, they stayed friends. My wife still knows them. To this day, they're still, they grew to be best friends, you know? And they have different career paths and all that. But it's a trip. When I look back and think about that, I can't believe these girls still know each other. And like on a good friend trip. Not all of them, but some of them for sure definitely stayed in her life forever. And without that wasn't there. Now, Salinas Valley was off the hook on the yard, on the violent side. Hands down, it was off the hook. But when you're in prison, no prison has been off the hook like Salinas Valley visiting room. And I'm not going to say much about it, but them girls used to go home with a smile on their face, you know. And at this time, we did not have conjugal visits or none of that, you know. But it was definitely wild and cracking and a lovely place to be if you were an inmate, you know. Because I've never it was hands down the best prison in all aspects. If you're looking at it from like a criminal aspect or that aspect or this aspect, Salinas Valley had the crown, man. C-Yard. Oh, okay. I want to say this right here, right? Like I said, I was wearing the city on my back in the county jail, and I was proud to be I was proud to be where the city I grew up in, right? And for a lot of criminals in Tehachapi, I was the first one they were meeting from the city, you know? I was it. You know, like they're talking about put this on the map. In prison standards, I was literally putting that thing on the map, you know? And there were other inmates like me that were from different places. But in Salinas Valley is the first time I meet any city mates, I'm going to call them, right? So the first place where I meet any of those. And to a criminal, it sparks you, you know? It sparks you because now you're meeting them and they see how you're being treated. Like my city mates were seeing how I was being treated because of all that stupidness in Tehachapi. And that even fueled my my egotisticness. It fueled my like I'm doing all the right things, and all the right things at this time are all the bad things. And that's a trip down memory lane. James, do you want to chime in here if you're not too far and you got anything for me?
I am here, and I'm actually going to read off some of the comments here. So you know how you were talking about the love bus and whatnot. Marlene put some comments on here, and she said, "Damn, that's a hustle." You know, laughing out loud. I should have thought of that. Should have thought of the love bus, laughing out loud.
Yeah. Well, the love bus. The girl had a guy in High Desert, so she was going to visit anyways. So she made a business out of it, and they were doing good. That love bus kept them going good for sure.
And then Lifestyles Chronicles put Joe has a great way a great way to paint his journey. The pinche love bus, man. I might have to change the title of this video to the pinche love bus. Gonna have to look up some
That's
pictures.
funny. And, and you know what? There's so much that I could talk about on the love aspect, but I'm getting kind of like, not shy, but like I don't know if this is a place to talk about that.
And Marlene just put right now, James. I'm gonna have to do like a love during lockup or love after lockup with you and your lady when you eventually come home, right? You have to follow you around and
Yeah.
do a follow up on you.
She's trying to take your job, James. you know. Yeah, man.
No, Marlene's she's gonna be doing the bus. I'm gonna be doing the follow ups. Once everybody comes home.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's a lot of girls that do hustles, like they make cards for inmates or, a website, a dating website. There's all kinds of stuff that popped up, but definitely, remember, it's $1 billion business, guys, so you could get in from, like, any avenue, any angle,
Man, I'm gonna have to start doing something like I'm gonna have to start getting all the artwork from the yard, and I'm gonna have to start up a website and start slanging out this prison artwork.
Yeah. You know what? I never been big on artwork in prison, and I met a guy after being 25 years in, and he was so incredible. I bought a lot of stuff off of him, so that's gonna be part of the collection when I come home. When I got my own little website and I'm posting, or like little things like that. But it's amazing what that individual did. And speaking about art, hold on, let me throw my shirt on real quick.
Yeah, handle.
Okay, I had to throw my shirt on because they're gonna call day room real soon, and I gotta go out and shower. But speaking about art, when I went to Tehachapi, my mind was so naive, right? And I'm getting introduced to all these people and the culture, because it's different from the street culture. Prison's a whole different a different aspect of things, right? So when it's going down, I remember thinking I was a little kid, and I remember thinking, I'm just gonna get a pen, and I'm gonna draw where my neckline's at, and I'm just gonna say, hey, tattoo me, freehand me, because that was a term we used to use back then, freehand. So I'm like, hey, freehand me, And James, I am so glad I didn't do that, because the artwork, like in prison on tattooing, like it's not the greatest, bro. But at that age, you're so influenced that you don't even think of that. You don't think like this ugly piece is gonna be on me for the rest of my life. You just think like, oh man, it's cool,
Yeah, I've seen some horrible. I've seen some horrible prison work. Even street work, prison, because everybody comes home, and they have their little tattoo gun.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
I remember this one time I seen this guy giving this girl a tattoo, and he misspelled the name on the girl's back.
Oh, poor thing, James. Poor thing. God bless her soul, bro. God bless her soul. Poor thing. Shout out to the girl. Shout out to the dude with the backwards writing. He was like me. I'm coming out La Pinta, and I didn't even know how to read. I got you, homie. I got you. I know how to tattoo that, Like, what? Yeah.
That's all bad.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's all bad, but a good story, right?
I seen a backwards tattoo. Yeah, good story. I seen a backwards tattoo too, James.
On purpose?
You know how, like, they're looking at it in the mirror?
Yeah.
No, you accident. You know how you look in the mirror? And they're supposed to put the pattern on, and they're like, oh, yeah, it looks good. And it was backwards in real life when they got done with it. And it's like, what? Like, but yeah, you have lots of fumbles definitely in life.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Man, they hit us with a double whammy right now. They hit us with the 60 seconds, and they hit us with your calls are being recorded. Hopefully they get rid of that. I think that one time when you connect on the call, it's pretty clear. But I guess I'm pretty sure some people have gone back to court, picked up some charges, or they've used it as evidence, and the person or the person was probably trying to say that they weren't aware that their phone calls were being recorded. So now that's probably why they add like that 3 times. So
This call is now being
Global Talent.
recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call.
Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel-Link.
hello.
Yeah.
All right. So I know you were saying that you were gonna be going to yard. Do you need to get ready? Do you need to gather any stuff before you go, or how much longer do you think you could be on the call?
I could be on the call. Wow. This is the thing. I could be on the call for a while, but I don't think we got a while because it's going to get loud in day room. But I got ready already. I'm just waiting on them to say, hey, guys, you could come out and shower now. That's the only thing. And that could take up until the hour. So it could probably be like 17 minutes away.
Okay. So then we'll
Yeah,
we'll
because
make
after that, it gets loud.
Okay. So we'll let this one. It does it get loud because it gets so loud in the day room that loudness goes into your room or into your cell, or are you gonna?
No.
When you go out,
No,
you
I'm
go
going
with
into the
tablet.
day room.
Oh, okay. So then.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
So we'll make this one the last one then, and then like that you could
Okay.
just, you could be at peace. You don't have to worry about wetting your tablet when you go take a shower or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I love the podcast, James, but we ain't waiting my tablet.
Yeah, that'll be out bad, especially
Yeah.
it takes like a month or two to
Yeah.
get a replacement one. So yeah, that's your lifeline right there. You gotta definitely take care of that. Hopefully, it's one of those rugged ones where if you drop it, the screen doesn't crack. So hopefully it lasts.
I treat this tablet just like I treated any of my cell phones in prison, bro. I am so diligent, so caring to them, so like, oh, this is my baby. Don't last me years, like that's how I am with the tablet too.
Yeah, no, you definitely definitely gotta take care of that. I'll be guarding that thing with my life. Definitely wanna. I hate having devices that either have cracked screens or cracked backs. So I always got a case on it, and I hate when the screens get scuffed up or scratches. So I got that invisible screen protector and whatnot. So I could definitely relate to that. I want do they sell that on the canteen where you could protect your screen? A screen protector?
No, they just started selling us because they give us a headset, right, with the mic.
Yeah.
And it's ugly and it's yellow. And anybody that talks to someone in California prison probably sees it when they video them, right? They just started selling us like JVC and Sony earbuds from a package company, and they just started bringing in the Levi pants again.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
They just started bringing the Levi pants because for years they took them, right? So when I come to prison, I had like real pants. I had Sean Johns, I had Levi's, I had Old Navy pants, right? But I was like I got that on the last package where we could get street clothes, and then it went dormant all this time. And beginning this February, they're gonna allow us to buy Levi pants again, So I think that's cool, and the headphones.
And as far as the headphones, are they selling them already? And would you happen to know which package company is going to start selling them? If so like that, definitely
Walking Horse.
Okay, Walking Horse. Okay.
Yes, Walking Horse and the Levi's are on Walking Horse too. So everything's coming through them. The headphones, I believe you can order them now, but the Levi pants, they're trying to stock them, so they're not going to be ready till February.
And do you have the headphones already, or are you still on the state ones?
No, we're all still on the state ones. No one's got a new package because they just gave us the book recently, right? So everyone's like, "Oh man, that's dope. We're gonna get some." But it's just a small highlight in this stupid life we live once we get to prison, you know. But it is there. At least it is there now. Because if you break the state once, like you said, it takes months, bro. And these guys will be like, man, I'll be heartbroken, bro. If I didn't have this to talk to you or talk to my wife or talk to my family, like, it'll be terrible, you know.
You know what? I'm gonna check. I'm gonna check in a bit. I'm gonna check if I could order some, and if I could order more than one, so like that I could just shoot some over to you guys, so you guys could have some, instead of having the state ones. But that'll only be if I could order more than one per package. Hopefully they didn't put a limit on it where you could only order one per package.
Man, James, that's a heartfelt gesture that almost leaves me speechless right now, bro. First, I want to say thank you on behalf of all of us. But the harsh reality, I think, is I mean, I don't know. You can try, but I don't think they're gonna let you do it. Like, so for Christmas, I got a visit. Let's just say like that, right?
Yeah.
I got a Christmas visit, right? I go out Christmas Eve, I think, and this lady brought all kinds of food, and she's God bless her soul. She brought all kinds of stuff to pass out because it's Christmas, right? And this isn't normally seen, but I know the cops were like, no, you can't do that or this. And there's a lot of good hearts out there that want to do good things, but for whatever reason, this or that, like, they don't allow it, you know. So, I mean, all the same, if they don't allow it, it doesn't even matter, bro, because I just heard you say it, and my heart felt it. So thank you, you know. But if it could actually be done, I have no idea.
I'm checking right now.
You know?
I'm on it right now. I'm checking if I could find them, and I'm gonna check if I could add more than one into the box. And if I could do that, then I'll do that.
Yeah. That's cool, bro.
Because the regular headphone, oh no, headphones. Nah, they got a limit of one. You could only do one per. So they thought of.
Oh yeah, see. Yeah. It's okay, bro. Yeah. I mean, I got it. Thank you, bro. I got the headphones right now, bro. Because in my heart, you already did that, bro. You already did that. You're the man. You know, I'm gonna tell you like I tell my wife, like all the girls. Maybe if there's a girl listening right now, my wife says something, you know, and I'll be like, hey, baby, and she'll be like, what? And I'll be like, you the man. And she'll be like, what? And I'll be like, yeah, you the man. And she starts laughing, like the first time I told her that, and she's like, I'm the man, baby. And I'm like, yeah, you the man, baby. And she's like, all right, you know, I'll take that compliment, you know.
That's right. And man, I just checked out the headphones. They got two different pairs. Yeah, you're right. They're I think they're JVC, but you can they're out of stock right now. They're out of stock until the 18th of January.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll be getting mine with my Levi's because you know, like in prison you can't have nothing, James. So any little thing you can have, like as far as me personally, any little thing I can have, I want it. You know, like, so these Levi's are new again. My family's like, why are we gonna buy Levi's? They're $80. Like, what? For chow? And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, bro, yeah, I'm gonna buy Levi's because I wanna have that shiny new toy, you know?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? And that's pretty cheap because out here in the street, the Levi's are like $100 now.
Oh, are you kidding me? They're selling us. Okay, look, this is the prices. This is the prices, James. They're all 501s.
Yeah.
So now that you told me that, I'm snatching up all three of them. they got three different 501s, and one $69, and the other two are $75 each.
Yeah, those are street prices. I remember when I used to go to downtown LA, I used to buy 5 Levi's for $100, the 501s. But now that's a thing of the past. Yeah. You're definitely gonna get got when picking up some Levi's. My wife just bought me some black ones for Christmas, and at the tag, I think it was like $79 or something like that.
Okay, so they're accurate. They got accurate number. Okay, I don't feel like I'm getting ripped off no more for sure. I was gonna get them even getting ripped off, but you just made me feel better about it. You know?
Yeah, they're gonna get you, but yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah. Hey, bro, without getting into your dimensions, right? Because I used to wear big clothes, and I've been trimming down like every year I trim down, and every year because because eventually the day's gonna come where we will be released, right? So I've been preparing like this year, that year, like a size smaller. When I came to prison, I used to wear 2X sweaters or 3X sweats, and the pants were no different. So now I'm trimmed down to like a large, or I probably need to trim down to a medium. But if your statute was like 5'8", 5'9", what waist do you think you would get? Like, when we got locked up, it was a different society, and now everyone wears tight clothes, is what I'm trying to say. So what would you recommend? A 5'8", 5'9" man.
So I'm
Trim.
5'9". I'm 5'9", and what I wear, because I love wearing baggy clothes. I mean, I used to be wearing those 50 back in the days, those Frisco Bends, and County
Okay,
FB.
so we're the same.
So
yeah.
we're the same, yeah. So
yeah, I got you.
I'm not with the the ankle chokers and the taper leg and all of that. So I still wear the 501s.
Okay.
So I think I'm right now. I'm either wearing a 36 or a 34. So I'm definitely not wearing anything tight.
Okay.
I gotta have a little bit.
Okay, say no more.
Yeah. But
wiggle.
I'll confirm, and I'll let you know exactly what I
Esta
have.
llamada y
If
su
I got
número de
36
teléfono
or-
será
I'm pretty sure I want to say I
controlada
got
y
a
grabada.
36. Because for
Well,
years I was wearing 42s.
yeah, 'cause-
I was wearing 40s and 42s, but then I had to cut back a little bit because I still
Yeah.
was still looking a little bit too big. So I think I might be down to a 36
Yeah.
now.
Okay, because in my mind I'm thinking a 34, right? And then I'm in my mind too. I'm like, man, you don't want to be like. I know everyone does the skinnies, but like it's gonna be hard. I would buy the pants for nothing, bro. So I'm like, man, I hope a 34 is not that like not that tight. That's what I'm trying to say,
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not gonna lie. My sister for Christmas she just gave me this like little sweater and sweatpants matching, and it was actually it has a print of the Maruchan, the soups. Those
Yeah, yeah.
they're tight from the bottom. She got me extra large, but I'm like, shit, I gotta wear these. This shit's hard right here. Like I got the chicken flavor Maruchan soup ones. So those I will you will be catching me on skinny jeans on that one. But that's the rare exception.
That's it. Okay, I got it. I got it, bro.
Yeah.
I've been, yeah, because I don't want to come out and that's not even the style no more. But I don't want to come out not wearing my fitted clothes, So mentally, I've been getting ready for that, like in these for sure after 2014 when they brought hope back, and the hope is there, and the goal and the agenda is to eventually one day go home and be free, and for people like me that like the lifestyle we live, the burden is so hard on the heart, we want to give back to our community now. But I'm saying that like dressed, I want to dress appropriate. I didn't even have to say all that. I could have just said dress appropriate, Hello?
Hey, we just got a call. I'm gonna plug it in right now.
Hey.
Hold on. I don't have it plugged in.
Okay.
Hello.
I got you off guard, bro.
Can you hear us? Or did I mess up again?
Yeah, I got you.
Lifestyles, can you hear us?
What's up, Joe? How you doing? This is Lifestyle Chronicles, man.
Let me see.
Been following you for a few weeks now, and
can you hear?
Yeah, your story's pretty intense, but it also comes with a lot of humor. But unfortunately, this type of lifestyle, it comes with a lot of humor, right? If you can't laugh about it in the end.
Yeah.
And I guess we really didn't live it to its fullest, man. And
I don't know if you could hear me. Could you guys hear me, both of you?
Yeah, no, I got you. Yeah, I got you, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Even in the darkest of times, when I'm talking about it being so sick and so violent, in California, prisoners have a ugly sense of humor. Like they'll be doing stuff and we'll be joking on the sidelines. So a lot of our humor, even to my family, like when I say stuff, they're like, cause they're like they don't get it, and I'm like, man,
yeah, they don't understand. They don't understand, that side of it.
Yeah, they don't understand that side of it, right? And that just sheds light on how sick and twisted we were doing these things, Like when me and my cellmate will watch a movie, and I can't help the humor because it's. Remember, I grew up in here, so even though I changed, I might say something that
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
we both start laughing. But if like the girls are on the phones, they're like, "What was funny about that?" And we're over here like, "What? You didn't think that was funny? Like that was funny." So it's a different sense of humor that goes into seeing. I don't know how to explain it, but I know we do have
I
for
got
sure
you, man.
a different
It's,
sense of humor.
The images that some of our eyes have seen and some of the things that we've experienced, that's where that humor comes from. You got to see the light, like you said, even in the dark, and look at it with the glass half full at times, and just hearing you talking about what waist size, for your Levi's. It's a trip, man. And some of the things that we take for granted out here.
Hey, call us back. Call us back. I know the call's about to call. If you could call us back, and so we could go ahead and continue.
I will.
All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah, the call was about to get cut off, so I didn't want it to get cut off and him not call back.
Yeah, no, for sure, James. It's a trip, though. Just hearing these testimonies sometimes. We get so wrapped up into the prison violence part of it, which is interesting for most of us to hear, but just to hear another grown man asking what pant size he should go with, and that kind of stuff. It really puts things into perspective, for us.
No, yeah,
and,
it definitely
trip,
does.
Man.
Yeah. You know what? When I got anytime I got released out of county, I always had my old same stinky clothes, so I never had to worry about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we were looking forward to that. Like, man, I can't wait. I can't wait to get back to intake. So they throw me in my bag, and man, I had these fresh Jordans on, or Cortezes, or whatever we had on.
Yeah. Calls coming in right now.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call.
Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5.
Yeah, the day that they get rid of those prompts, man, I think we should all say a prayer and rejoice in happiness, man. Because imagine all these years that all the families and everyone that's on the other
Gracias
side.
por utilizar Global Link.
Yeah, that prompt
You
definitely.
can't even have a normal conversation sometimes, I mean, that's the least they could do for you guys, is at least give you that respect, And like you said before, I think it was you or Javier that was saying, there's been times when people were getting that bad message on the other side there, a family member's ill or on the deathbed, and they're so quick to cut those phones off. Back in the day, they'll jump on the line and say, hey, you got 30 seconds, or you got a minute. And, it's like, hey, man, and you can hear them breathing.
And the sad part about that is when they didn't have these tablets and they had those phones, like there's a guy behind you. And as mad as you are and as upset as you are, the chain has to continue with the next guy because there's a guy behind him too, And
you can't, and you have to hold back some of those emotions and some of those inner feelings that you have, because you can't show that weakness in the day room or on the yard or wherever you're at the time. And I know, man, and just hearing your guys' testimonies over the last few weeks and months, it's I'm sure most of us viewers can hear the difference in your voices, with these tablets and just these little things, even with the new walking horse, stuff that you guys can purchase. It's all the little things, but at the end of the day, those little things mean a lot,
And you know what? You bring up a good point that I didn't even think of bringing up, right? You're talking about the stresses in prison, right? It's hard. And what an inmate does is you bottle those up. And when I'm talking about all the violence, like the stabbings, some people raise their hands to do stuff. Some people, it ain't always like, hey, you have to do this, right? Some people are like, I want to go. And when they want to go, sometimes they're releasing this. It's not in a positive way, but all that built up feeling.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Like not being in control, not being able to dictate this or that, not having the time with your family when they passed away, right? when you go and you're on a mission and you're stabbing another inmate, you are letting out, and it's not a good way, but this is just the reality of it, guys. You're letting out those frustrations, and you're letting out all that bad stuff, and you're like, I want to hurt him because these people didn't even let me call my people. So you're making excuses and you're carrying on the violence, but that's where that's like an outlet. Hey, it's a sad thing to say it like that, but that's what happens, you know? Yeah.
It's like a champagne bottle, bro. You know, it's a champagne bottle it's pressurized. You know, you shake that thing up, eventually it's bound to blow, and when it does, it's going to be a messy scene, and that's the outcome, and that's the vicious outcome, and it's a sick cycle. You know, that cycle. Unfortunately, it's always going to be a part of that world, man, and I'm sure most of us can commend what you guys are going through and being on the other side now. You know. It takes a lot, you know, going from active to you know, whatever your status is now, and I don't really think that most of us really care, bro. Yeah. To be honest with you, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think so either because because I'm gonna say
you don't ever see any questions, you know, and that's the good part, you know. You don't ever see any questions about anybody ever asking what your status is or you know what your stance is right now. You know, I'm pretty sure most of us that understand that life, you know, we know what it is, man. And honestly, you know, it takes a lot more to do it in there than it does out here. And what some of us have done out here was easier compared to trying to do the change in there. And it means a lot, man, to hear it, you know, because I could tell you one thing. I didn't have what it took to make that change on the inside. It didn't happen until I got out. Yeah. And you know, and hearing it from your side, you know, it doesn't matter, active, non-active, GP, none of that shit matters, man. We're all men and women that are behind the bars, you know, too, and doing their time. They deserve just as much respect. Yeah. They're dealing with the same nonsense, you know. And it's just when it's all said and done, man, you know, it means a lot to hear some of these things, you know, especially from someone from my perspective. And honestly, I grew up in the same area where you did in Southwest Riverside County. I've been to Southwest Jail, been to the main jail, been to Banning Road Camp when it was the road camp back in the day. Old jail, all through the Riverside, you know, juvenile hall, and you know, the system was vicious, man, and back then in the 90s and early 2000s, you know, they were waiting for us to make a mistake so they can just throw us away, and unfortunately, you that's what you're paying the consequences for too now, because that was the mentality then. It was hey, they're messing up and they're habitual offenders, and let's get rid of them, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to tell you something that could never be lost on my mind. Hearing you call in and just talking to you briefly, it means a lot, bro. It means a lot. I was walking the tear full of joy right now because we were having this conversation. And I will never be able to express how much it means to me, right? I could never tell you how happy I am. But believe that, bro. I am happy. And there's something you touched upon, like right.
Lifestyle chronicle.
When I left, lifestyle. No. I was trying to catch my words. When I left, I thought everybody was gonna feel some type of way, right? I thought everybody was gonna be like, oh, we're cool on you. And honestly speaking, bro, that didn't happen. You know, I might have like one person, two people, but everybody that was in my life before I came over here, they're still in my life at this point.
Still there, bro.
You know? And still there. And everyone told me what you told me. And I'm talking about people that were like still in prison. You know, everyone's like, "Fool, we don't care about that." You know, and I'm like, well, it's all new to me because I've never been over here, you know, but you know, growing up in the system, this is normal
that, bro. We're taught that, hey, you know, you got to stay solid, you got to do this, you have to do these things, especially, you know, in the Riverside County or San Bernardino system, you know, we're kind of a stepchild to LA, you know, we're the little brother, little sister to LA or Orange County, so we always got looked at in a different light. So I think that we had more to prove, and now I believe that, you know, not glamorizing it by any means, but I think that our area is getting a little bit more respected because of that, and not that it's neither here or there, but those are the things, unfortunately, that you were having to put in that work to get to where it is now, and it's a vicious cycle, bro. It's an ugly thing, but at the end of the day, that's why it got so ugly, I'm sure, for you, because we had more to prove, and like you said before, you went in there and you wanted to be the baddest and the most feared, and because of that, it either caught you more time and caught you more victims, and obviously hurt your family in the meantime also.
Yeah, all of those, all of the above, and man, bro, it's just amazing talking to you right now.
Yeah, for sure, man. I've been wanting to tap in for a while. I've been busy, but I do catch up on everything, and I appreciate James doing what he does. He makes sure that you guys get your spotlight. He makes sure that all of your guys' podcasts are getting put up right away. So, believe me, James is doing everything he can for you guys. And I was gonna say, even what you guys could do is create like a little fund, man. If anybody needs headphones or needs like a quick little package, get some of these visitors that want to, or the viewers that want to help. I mean, it's not like you're begging, but some of us are already hooking you guys up. I mean, I wouldn't mind throwing a couple dollars.
No, I know, and
I mean, shit,
If you guys want, we're gonna have a CGA. That's Criminal Gangs Anonymous tonight at like for 7 at the yard. We do it no staff, nobody's there. We do it ourselves. We hold ourselves accountable, right? But I will bring that up to some of the guys that have been on here, and I know for me, some people really might need that, right? But I know for some of us,
someone that's hurting, bro.
Someone that's hurting
that might not have it,
Yeah, someone exactly. So that's what I'm gonna pitch out there, because I know some of the guys, like our families could get us that, but maybe some other guys, like maybe they don't have a family member that could do that for them. So.
There you go. Well, I know Javier's already made it known to us that sometimes he's doing bad. So situations like that. I mean, we're on here so much with you guys that the least that we could do is at least give you a better audio, right, James?
Yeah, I mean, that would highly be appreciated. Yeah. I'm always I'm always in the audio.
I heard James a minute ago saying that he was already stepping up. So that's what I'm talking about. You got some real ones out here that we've never met in person. We've never done any of that, but we're all connecting and networking together, and that's what it's about. You know what I
mean? Yeah, man, and I can tell you right now, bro, from my heartbeat and everyone else's heartbeat, when I share this to them, if they don't hear it beforehand, we're all touched by that statement you said and by the statement James said about about looking out, because some people, there's been times where even myself, you don't have nobody in here, or you. No, I'm not gonna say it. You don't have nobody in here. You just don't have nobody. And for someone like that in those shoes, in that position, bro, you will never know what you guys mean to us in here.
Well, the way I look at it, man, I volunteer a lot now in the community. I coach soccer. I do a lot of things now that I never imagined being able to do. And these are the little things that I believe that I have to do. Not that I'm being forced to do. No one's telling me to send a cash app or do any of that stuff, man. No one's forcing us to do these things. We're doing it because we want to. We may have a family member that's been there, or we maybe have done it ourselves and felt that feeling of watching everybody else go to visiting, put on their new state boots or whatever they're wearing, and I'm like, man, I want to put on my state boots, but I don't have a reason to put them on. You know what I mean? And
I got you.
I understand what you're saying, bro. And these are the things that don't just touch you, but it's meaningful for some of us, that have our own inner demons and our own things that we're dealing with currently, or maybe not even dealing with, just feeling that we have a purpose for this kind of stuff,
And I want to tell you something, because you said something like we have our people that probably done time too, right? And for me to you, like I want you to know that that when I was into Hatchet and I was learning, right, everything was black and white to me. So I'm not gonna say I didn't have my hand in stupid things that could have been avoided. Maybe they could have been avoided, right? But what I want to say is this: when I got older and when I knew a lot more, there was a big old compassionate heart in me, and I was a homie's homie. You know, like when you were in trouble, I was helping you get out of that trouble. I was helping reduce in a warp criminal fully aspect mind still. I was a good homie.
Putting out
Esta
fires.
llamada
Yeah,
y
you're
su
putting out
número de
fires,
teléfono
helping the
será
homies.
controlada y grabada.
It wasn't about hurt everybody now. I changed that, and as influential as I was, I stopped a lot of violence from happening. Like there's no other way to say that than to say it, you know? And
No, like I just
you
said,
know,
you're putting out fires. Putting
being
out fires, you know, helping.
yeah, I was
helping
putting
the
out
homies,
fires, bro.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was putting out fires, and everybody could get set. Everybody's like, we're gonna do this, and when I walk up, I have to pretend like I don't know about it because I don't want them thinking I'm already on his side. So I'm like, okay, what happened, guys? And then when they're telling me, like at the end of the day, one of my friends used to hate me because he'll be like, when you come over here, doggy, when you come over here, you make us all not get mad. Man, fuck that, stay away, because we're ready to stab this guy. And you know, so I had a way, right? I had a way of persuading or of making them see like this isn't the big deal you're making it to be. Like this is a good homie. Now think, does his family deserve to have a phone call like, hey, this guy got stabbed up? Think about that if that's your brother. So I was having to
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
to do the exact same thing but in a different way. Now it's to save, you know? And who knows if somehow, some way we do know some of the same people, you know? Because like I say, I always had a name and they always talked about it like, damn, that's the homie. That's a good homie. So he's not here to hurt us, you know?
Yeah.
And it wasn't always like that again when I was young.
Your journey is really similar to mine. You know, you had a juvenile case, so did I. You know, literally the day that I turned 18, if not I think it might have been the next day, right after my court. They walked me right over right under the tunnel over there at Southwest. You know, and that's when reality hit. You know, like you said, I heard you say it before too. You know, when
hey, call back
from
if
the
you
halls
can.
thinking that you're the man.
I will.
I was gonna cut off.
Yeah, it's about to cut off. Yeah. He got
no, but I'll call back.
Man.
Okay, cool, perfect. All right, right now when he calls back,
it's actually not too bad right there, James. I think he's in the day room right now.
Yeah, it's not too loud. Yeah, and then you know what? So this number that I got now, I think this is gonna be the permanent number. You know, I was I've been switching up numbers every 7 days because I had some free trials with Mint Mobile. So that's what I was using. But yesterday, I finally just, I had been thinking about it. I just never got around to it, and I just set up a dedicated number. But with this number, it only allows, for calls, no text messages. Got
it. Okay.
But I'm probably gonna set up a WhatsApp. So like if anybody wants to call in internationally, they could go ahead and reach us through that. Yeah.
That's good stuff, man.
All right, in the
This call is now being recorded.
Global Tellink. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call.
Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tellink.
Hello. Yeah.
All right, Lifestyles. You were talking about getting walked under the tunnel at the river and from Riverside House.
Oh yeah, the Southwest. So Riverside County, like Joe has explained, they have several jails, but the one in Southwest County, it kind of covers all of the lower section of the county. So you got Paris, Hammett, Lake Elsinore, Myrtle Valley, San Jacinto. There you go. And then so between there and you get Banning, they go to the desert. I mean, it's just like any other county. They spread them out, wherever they have openings. But this particular one in Southwest, it's a Newark County jail, so they have it all set up, more high tech where you don't even go outside. You don't see daylight. You just walk underneath the tunnel and there you are. You go to court, or you go to the other side. If you're getting transferred to the county or wherever you're going. Same thing with the downtown Riverside jail.
It used to be pink when I was there, because they said it was a girls' prison or something.
Yeah. When they first set it up.
They still have it like that? Yeah, I got you.
No, I don't think so. Not when I was, when I was over there.
Okay.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, not when you were there. Okay.
No, but what has changed is the road camp. Remember, the Banning road camp it's not like the low level anymore. They actually have a high custody over there now. It's just, things started getting crazy out here, man. It's a lot of things like anywhere else. Southern California started exploding, so they needed more bed space, and not to glamorize any of this stuff, but obviously growing up in Southern California, it's not a pretty sight, for some of these viewers that may be international or out of state, or just not growing up where in an area where it's gang infested or even seen anything like that. It's a hard lifestyle, and especially the area where Joe grew up. You don't have very many options. You know what I mean? It's either you go with it or you don't go with it, but you're going to have trouble either way. And I think that's the disadvantage that most of us have, in these inner city, areas. And unfortunately, we fall victim to it. And not only that, we end up victimizing our own people in the end. And that's the unfortunate part when it's all said and done. So.
And what you said, victimizing our own people, right? Keep in mind, guys, like the viewers, I came to jail for committing crimes against somebody, and in the long run, they're my friends in jail. So why did I come to jail in the first place? That's what the inmate starts thinking in here, and the ones who are going through that now is like Northern California homies. I'm going to call them homies. Northern California homies have crimes committed against them from us, and then they pick up a life sentence for us, and now they're out there mingling, and at the end of the day the question's still like, why did I do this for? Why did I come to jail?
You're
if this
still
was
breaking
why
bread
I threw my life away.
That's the vicious cycle that I'm talking about. We still have to break bread. We still have to do these things. So I think that we still have a long way to go. There's been a lot of strides. I'm sure you've seen those strides, from that side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just out here, we've seen a lot of progress, but we've seen a lot of backtracking too, though, So, it's like anything else, man. Work in progress. But you guys, continue down the path that you are, and preaching that peace and positive gospel, man, and great things are happening. Like these connections that you guys are making just from James, setting this up is amazing.
Absolutely,
maybe a year from now, or a year ago, or 2 years ago, that you would even be in this predicament to be able to have this conversation, or to even be able to interact this way, and it's amazing for me to even see, because I know what it's like to sit there in the hole and not have shit to do, and just be twiddling your thumbs and wondering if you're going to get a visit, or if anybody's going to write you or whatever, and it's an ugly place, man. It's a real ugly place, and when you can finally pull your head out of that, which I understand, you guys go through it on the daily, trying to clear your mind for the day, and you wake up and throw on your chonies and everything else the same way you do it every other day, and clear your mind, you know what I mean? And try to clear your mind and get right for the day. That's the struggle in its own, you know what I mean?
Well, one thing I've always been successful at anything.
We're here, man. We're here for
the
message. We're here to hear the stories, and I wouldn't say entertainment.
Appreciate it.
I wouldn't say entertainment. Maybe for some people they're popping here, but for me, it's definitely not entertainment. It's more for the experience and the knowledge of what it is, And like I said, obviously been through those same situations. Luckily, never caught myself a life sentence, but to sit here and say that wasn't the case, and I could never. I mean, I would be lying, man. I'd be lying.
Yeah.
But some of us, I would say, we're not as lucky, as others, And I sit here and look at some of my old homies. I'm like, damn, how do these dudes still, how are they still having that long run, man? They're still out there. How?
And you know what?
It's that arrested development.
You know
Esta
what?
llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And I wanna throw my 2 cents in on that one because all it takes is one mistake, and that's it. I got a homie that's in his 40s right now. He caught a 17 and a half year sentence in the feds, and he's gonna come out, when he's wearing diapers. I wouldn't want to do time at 40, especially 17, 18 years. No way, no how. But, all it takes, you could have a long run. And this is a dude that beat murder cases, assaults, and stuff of that, stuff of that nature. And, now they got him on that. The feds don't play around. The feds are going to break you off.
No.
So, you might get
away.
away.
They slam you. When they get you, they're gonna manhandle you. That's for sure, man.
Yeah. They don't play around. In the feds, I think they have a 99.9% conviction rate. So, if you're not connected or you don't have a good lawyer, you're going to get broke up, or if you don't tell, because the feds, they want you to tell. They're going to make you tell, or if not, they're going to make you hurt. And that's what happened to him in this case. He didn't want to tell. He didn't want to give up anybody, and adios. Hey, see you when you're wearing diapers.
Well, here's the thing, James. When we think that we have to stay solid and do that, we hurt ourselves, and while everybody else is out there, skipping around, enjoying Disneyland with their families, you're there taking the blow, and that lifestyle, it's an ugly one, man. It doesn't make sense at times, but at the time when you're living it, it all makes sense. You think you're doing the right thing. I'm sure Joe can attest to that. When you're right there in the midst of all that, and you're functioning, and you got a lot of respect, and you got a lot of clout. It feels like that's the life, man. You feel like you're the man. Every time you hit the yard, or every time you hit the street, the block, and everyone's like, oh, there he is. There he goes, and that's his car, or there's the homie walking the yard right now, and watch out for him. We all think that's the respect that we want, but.
And you know what? There's a lot of power, right? When we're living this stupid warped lifestyle, right? I'm gonna say this. In the 1990s, the only body with tattoos on their neck, and it usually used to be of their neighborhood, right? Or on the back of their head, or on the top of their head. You got these big eye busters for everybody to see. Was Mexican, of Mexican descent, right? So that's going on in YA, in prison, and it's a new thing. Not everybody is tatted like that right here. It's a new thing. Not even we growing up, and we're not even, everyone has it, right? So as that goes on and people start seeing it, that came out of a warped belief system. But the power of it reached everybody now. Now everybody
it reached
like
mainstream. Now when you walk around,
yes,
you even see officers. Yes. Officers are sleeved up, bro. I'm like, whoa, that's a cop.
Yes. Yeah, and it's crazy.
That wasn't part of society, but that's where we have to understand the evolution. The evolution of a cholo too.
Yeah,
it's the last of a dying breed, bro.
Yep.
It's the last of a dying breed. Nobody's really out there like that no more. They're scared. The 90s, those 90s babies, those old YA babies, they're washed up, or they're either they're LWOPed, or they're they got unalived, or whatever the situation may have been, or they just can't be out there functioning no more. So this new generation, man, it's kind of scary, man, because they don't have the respect that they used to be there in the street, and so the respect that you're seeing out there is the carjacking and no respect for an old lady, throwing her out the car and just taking it. Like, before, if you did anything like that, you better believe. That's the kind of stuff that's happening out here now, man. It's just the disregard. Obviously, the disregard for life has always been there, but now it's really just it's treacherous, man. And for me, being a father now, and hearing your guys' stories, as much as I can. Hopefully, I get out here on the daily, but sometimes I can't. But it's a reminder. It's definitely a reminder, and on the path that I've taken, and now where I am, I was able to get that redemption that I hear you guys talk about sometimes, and not all of us get that opportunity. I'm a two-striker. I was up against my third strike, and luckily I was able to beat that, and I got a little bit of time out of it. But when I came out a better man, and I was able to open a business and do okay for myself. And
I'm proud of you.
You know, and hearing you
Proud of
guys,
you, bro.
you know, and just knowing that, hey, yeah, some of you guys, man, could have been your own entrepreneurs. You guys could have had your own tattoo shops. You guys could have had your own, you know, carpet cleaning business or electrical business or plumbers, or, you know what I mean? I work with these dudes on the daily that have been in and out, and these guys are making, you know, some great money, and I'm like, man, it's a trip, you know, because to be honest with you, the ones that have converted from that lifestyle to the good life, I guess you could say, as the working life, these are the best workers, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, if I could sit there in front of you know, the intake and release and catch a couple people coming out, I guarantee those are the most solid workers that you'll find out here on the street.
Yeah, because we're
hungry
for success and a normal life.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
I believe it. I was one of those. I was part of that stereotype. I was part of that statistic, just like James and anybody else that's ever been incarcerated, whether you've done prison time or county time, it doesn't matter. We were part of the problem, man. We were.
Numbers. Yep.
We were part of it, you know, and I know James is doing well for himself now. He got himself a family, from what I'm hearing, and those are all beautiful things, man, you know, and I got a brand new baby at home, so every time I hold her, man, I definitely don't want her to be with the cholo. I don't want her to be with no guy that used to be like how I used to be, or running around with a gun in his waistband, or tattooed the way that I am. You know, I have to live with that, you know, and like I wrote a little while ago in my message that, you know, the tattoos, you know, it's a funny thing because, we see some janky stuff coming out of there, man, you know, fools coming out with some real busted ink, but at the same time, you know, as funny as it is, that's their story, and for whatever reason, they decided that was the right thing for at the time, you know, whether or not we're like, man, you could have waited a little bit, you know, you could have waited for the homie, he was getting ready to come through, you know, and you could have waited at least another month, man, and you know, but still, there's a reason why we do these things, and when I look at myself, I'm like, you know, I'm not proud of a lot of it, but at the same time, I know that I've grown and I've come a long way, and there's nothing I can do with some of this ink. It's there, you know. But it hasn't affected me.
Well, you know what?
It hasn't sold me short. You know, I've been in front of, you know, big time, you know, business owners, you know, and doing my networking and accounting and stuff, and I've never let that hold me back, you know. And to be honest with you, if anything, it helped me because
número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
If anything, it's helped with building bigger connections, you know.
Hey man, I'm proud of you, man. Like hearing you and talk about your daughter and hearing you talk, like I get it. You know, you were a criminal, bro. And now when you talk, I'm hearing a man. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm hearing a man, and I'm proud of you being able to come out the other end. You know?
I was gonna cut off. If you could call us back, and I'll be right back.
I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta head out right now. Okay. But you guys have a God bless day, man, and thank you, James, for taking it. And you know,
Le
keep on
queda
doing
un
what your pushes,
restante
man.
de 60 segundos.
I'll
God bless you, bro, and you have a good day too.
Yeah, God bless you guys. All right, thank you, James. Talk to you guys later.
Okay.
Hello, sorry about that. I had to run to the front door. Somebody was knocking there, and I think right now when he calls back, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it because I gotta get ready to head over to work, or get ready to go head to work, and definitely got a long day today. But for tomorrow we have David and Jesse, coming on tomorrow. I think at about 10 o'clock. I gotta put my alarm because I definitely gotta pick up that call. But definitely be on the lookout for that.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Joe Perez.
un preso recluido de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call.
Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel-Link.
Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Hello. So.
Yeah, man.
So you know what? I got somebody knocking on my door, or I let them in already. I gotta go ahead and take care of something. Um,
Okay.
but if you could call up tomorrow, if you want, I could hit you up, or you could hit me up, and we could probably schedule something maybe like at around maybe noon or 12:30 for tomorrow.
Okay. Absolutely. 12:30. Why not, bro? Yeah. Yeah. 12:30. You're on.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay.
We're locked in. Then if anything changes, let me know. It's all good. And then we could do it on Monday. But I'll go ahead and
Okay.
let you take over the mic so you could say your shout outs and whatnot. Or if you want, you could talk for a few minutes, and I'll come back so I could talk to this person, and then we'll go ahead and cut
Okay.
it. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good, bro.
All right. Handle it.
Thank you.
Handle. You got it.
Okay. For the audience, I'm gonna say it like this, man. That surprises me. The calling like that, and it's touching. And quite frankly, you don't even know how to feel about it, but you just feel good. Like I feel good talking to that man, and I feel good knowing that one person is taking something out of hearing this. It's just a good feeling. The bad feeling is like hearing about carjackings being done on old ladies. No crime is good, right? So I don't want to give the impression like, hey, when we were doing crime, no, I don't want to say that. All right, no crime is good, but I've seen the prison system deteriorate in here. I've been seeing it. No other word to say it, deteriorate, right? And I see that's been happening out there too. You know, and for people still in the crime life, like I'm almost speechless, and I almost don't know what to say because if you told me something when I was thinking like that, there's very little you could tell me. There's very little I feel I could tell somebody deep in their addiction without them like F this dude or screw this dude or he don't know what I'm going through. But the reality is I do. The reality is I lived it. The reality is if you're in your 20s, bro, I got life at 17. I wish I could take that back, but I can't. Um, for the viewers, I've rarely done anything and not been successful at it. So now that I'm stepping into this journey of my life, I'm taking it like everything else. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know when, but I think I'm going to be pretty successful at changing a life or two. I think I'm gonna step in here and I think I'm gonna do good things, and not for individuals because one individual affects many, right? Like when I save one, I'm saving all kinds of things down that road, all kinds of ripple effects that are not going to be negative no more, but they're going to be at least neutral or swing it to the positive side of things. And that's what I'm here for. That's what I signed up for without knowing too much of what this podcast was or not knowing the vision of it. I just knew a brief information, and I dived in. I was like, I'm in it, guys. I'm sharing things with you that it's like a diary. It's like a very personal and dear to me. Even if it's on the negative side, even if it's on the positive side, it's like this is a piece of me that I feel like I'm talking into a mirror, and I'm sharing that with you, hoping you get something out of it. Man, at this moment, I wish I had all the words. I wish I knew all the things to say, but I don't. So as we grow together, as we move forward, I hope a lot of good comes out of this because that's the goal.
Hey,
And I
Joe.
want to thank everybody in. Yeah,
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you in the
yeah.
middle of your. But I just wanted to let you know I'm back. You could go. You could go ahead and take over the mic.
Okay, I'm be real short. I want to thank everyone for that calls in. even for other inmates right here, right? Even for other guys that are still locked up and doing their time and sharing their testimonies, right? I want to thank everybody for the comments. I want to thank everybody that because I know more people thought about it. I know only James said it and the caller that called in, but I know more of you thought like, oh yeah, the headphones, you know. I want to thank you guys for having such a big heart like that. And with that said, I'll invite James in here and see what we touch up on. James?
All right. Hey, thank you. Really appreciate it. And then I want to go ahead and, thank Lifestyles Chronicles. And he just went ahead and dropped a message on here for you. He said, Joe, keep striving with positive changes. Good conversation today, homeboy. And then he's also blessing you with $20. So that brings up your little.
Man.
Doesn't bring up your piggy bank up to $50. So you got a big $50 right now. The 30 from last time, bro, and then the 20 from now.
And this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about when I'm telling the audience that you can't describe the happiness, or you can't describe. It's not $20. That's not. Everybody knows you've been getting $20 as a kid, right? That's not it. But this is a complete stranger, and being isolated and secluded from society, like, we haven't felt those kind of things in a long time. Because keep in mind, when I'm acting up in Tehachapi, I'm like, society turned its back on me, right? I'm like, nobody loves me. So those feelings are strong amongst us in general. Now, I'm not saying they're strong now to me, but to know that that's where I was at back then and stepping in the future.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Stepping in the future to today, and James just sharing that. It's touching, man. It touches your soul, and I am super thankful for it, and I appreciate it.
Man, and then I gotta give another shout out to Lifestyles again. He went ahead and he dropped another 20, but these ones are for me. I highly appreciate that. Appreciate that he puts James all the blessings for you, bro. You're a great man. Hey, thank you. I really appreciate. I'm just trying to do something a little bit different, trying to get out these stories, these journeys that these gentlemen have gone through, to kind of share, give an insight to the public that's curious, or maybe somebody that's, going down that path or have similar stories. Let them know, how everybody, ended up here and what they're doing in their lives, to, try to fix, the mess they made of their lives. Because it's not the end. As long as you're breathing, like I say, you still have, you still have some time, to redeem yourself. I mean, for the large majority of people, there's certain people I think they can redeem themselves no matter what they do. But in this case, definitely, redeemable, has some qualities and definitely, has something to offer, to society. And that's when I want to get out there, because, a lot of people think that they can't change their life around, and that's false. Everybody could change it around and change their luck, and a lot of people. I have this homie that is always talking about that they want to kill him on the streets. Yeah, they want to kill him because you're out there, you're gang banging and you're bringing this negative lifestyle to yourself. But if you sit there and you switch your appearance up and carry your way in a different way, and people are going to perceive you and treat you in a different fashion. If you bring negativity, you put out negativity, you're going to get back negativity. You put out positive vibes, and that's what you're going to get. You're mostly going to get, positive things happen to you in your life. So I kind of went blank on that, but I appreciate you guys tuning in and whatnot, listening to our stories, and making us part of your daily routine. You want to go ahead and give a shout out to everybody: Lifestyles Chronicles, Marlene, who else? LBCK 15, Biddy K from the UK. Yeah, that's right. You got it.
Yeah, UK, bro.
Richard from Colorado. Who else do we have on here? Oh yeah, and Ellie Analyst was in here earlier on. Righteous Monkey, Droopy Huevos, and then everybody else that wasn't here, because I know you guys are definitely gonna catch this on the rebound. Live, what is it? Fish Slayer SoCal, Iceman.
Yeah.
Who else am I
Yeah.
missing? Manny C, Tony Yayo. And feel free to drop any names that I'm missing out on right here, because it's a lot. I gotta start doing what you do. I gotta start taking like little notes and write everybody's name down. But right now I'm still shooting from the hip. But definitely,
I'm in the day room. I'm sorry, guys. I took you to the day room with me. I got no paper right here.
Oh yeah. Can't forget.
James, I have more.
Can't forget about Mad Max 408 and M-Star Media. Oh,
yeah.
Iceman. Iceman just typed. He tapped in right now.
Okay, James. I got I was happy and I was beyond joy with the $20 donation, right? But when he said he gave you, man, I wish you had a camera to see the smile on my face when I was like, my boy gave James. Oh man, that's cool, bro. Like that's the kind of feelings I'm talking about. You can't express them,
Yeah, no, and I could definitely hear it on your voice that you were touched, and man, words can't even describe it. I'm glad that you're touched. I know you appreciate it, and I'm sure you're gonna do something positive with that money. If not, then you either some soda, some zoom, some wham, some honey buns, some chili lime sopas.
Hey, bro, I'm gonna share that with the audience when they come second draw. All that money is gonna be, they're gonna listen to me smacking my lips and smacking my gums and popping soda pop or something, cause that's where it came from, bro. So that's where it's gonna go to, like joyful moments. Bro, I appreciate everything, and I appreciate it so much that my bladder is about to explode because I could not get off the call. Right? When he called in, when Lifestyle called in, I could not get off the call, and I've been talking all this time, and I'm like, okay, day room, and I took you guys to day room with me, and I was like, you know what, bladder, pop on your own, baby, because we're talking,
Hey, you know what, and that's what it's all about. We're doing improv here, like obviously, we were gonna cut the stream off like about an hour ago, but we got that call, and it drew us back in, and here we are.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
Yeah, and does it sound crazy to you? Because you're in day room right now.
For me, I mean, as far as me, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me.
Oh, but the audience, yeah.
I don't know about the audience, but you know what?
You can't hear it.
But you know what? It adds this another aspect of it, where we could see like the sounds and whatnot, and that you're in prison.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It adds that
extra. I bet you would definitely add another element in there. If somebody starts getting off next door to me and you hear all that, you'll be like, oh, cut the fee. I'll be like walking away, guys, because that thing's getting crazy, Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, I say that only because, yeah?
No, go ahead.
I say that only because sometimes, with the kiosk, there was an incident recently that happened where some guy was talking to his wife, and for whatever reason, another gentleman attacked him with a knife, and that was all on the video, all on the call, everything. And it happened right here, like 10 feet away from me, So, like, things do still happen,
Yeah, it is prison after all. And I know we should be getting that.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
We got that announcement. So with that, life's like a candle. Once you blow it, it's lights out. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and you'll definitely be back tomorrow.
And my light's been out for 27 years, kids. Don't do it.
You heard it here first. All right, hey, thank you. If you want, call me back, and we'll talk a little bit off the air, and then we'll go ahead and let you go on, or you go ahead and use the restroom, and then call me back.
All right, thank you, bro, thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'll be here in a minute or two.
Okay, all right, cool.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I really appreciate that comment about the audio. I'm always gloating when you guys bring that up. like I said earlier on, I'm adding a dedicated number. So this number here that if you look on the screen, scrolling across the screen, I'm going to go ahead and keep that as my permanent number. And I'm going to go ahead and also set up and some email. So if you guys have an iPhone and are calling internationally, you guys could go ahead and call us via FaceTime audio or yeah, FaceTime audio with an iPhone. And if you don't have an iPhone, I'll go ahead and set up a WhatsApp number so you guys could go ahead and reach out through those messaging apps to make it easier. Definitely don't want to hit anybody on the pocketbook as far as incurring any international charges or whatnot. So I'll go ahead and be setting that up in the next few days or whatnot. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut the stream. Really appreciate you guys tuning in, and hopefully you guys have a good day. My day is just beginning. I have to go to work. I'm gonna have to go do a 10-hour shift, so I won't be home for quite some hours. So, all right, good day.